Okay, guys, so we have the biggest jewel robber in the United States with organized crime, a.k.a. the mob, not the government, which is a different kind of organized crime.
Correct.
The man has stolen over $20 million. He went to prison for 4 12-year sentences, but did 12 out of 48 years. He's the only ex-con in the United States that has been sworn in and is an honorary police officer, and the only ex-con in the United States recognized on the floor of United States Congress. And he also sued the federal government for his right to masturbate in prison.
That's amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Lawton.
Thank you very much, Kirill. How you guys doing?
What's going on, baby?
And nice meeting you too, man.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Pretty
Val.
cool.
Val's,
Yes.
You've never met Val.
I never met Val, but Kirill and I partied a few times and we had a lot of fun.
Got
He
a little
really,
frisky. He's got he's got a mini Assholes Live Forever tattoo.
with my brand, which is a L with a happy face.
Why is it an L with a happy face?
Well, listen, I just first did the L. I was in prison when I did that tattoo, and I put the L on. I was fucked up, and not fucked up, I just like my head is not right, and I'd make tattoo guns and shit. And I said, what the fuck? I'll try the tattoo gun. You fuck this shit on the hand. You see all these idiots. If I take my dick, I fucking fuck, and then I put the L. So
On the penis.
Yeah,
So he's
head,
got an
yeah.
L on his
love that.
dickhead.
So now all I got is an L. Oh fuck! What L? You know, you can't really. What's the L?
Is the L facing you or?
Facing out, like so.
Okay.
You look at it. You look at it.
You're like,
oh,
you're
it's
like, there's an L.
Yeah, no.
That's Larry's dick.
And then I said, wow, we got to, I was doing a tattoo on somebody, and I can't really do I used to be better. I fucked the poor kid up, Daniel Silva. You remember when I did that?
yeah. So, at a
Nice kid, too.
We had a 420 party in my
Yeah,
office.
for me,
and
that was
you know
nice.
Daniel
Thank you.
Silva?
Yeah.
He's like a dope tattoo artist. They were both over, and they tattooed each other.
Oh, wow.
And they both had to make a prison tattoo gun.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
it was all fucked up.
That's great,
by,
though.
by that time, I was pretty fucked up, too.
Like mentally?
Well, I'm always fucked up mentally.
Oh,
I'm
you
telling
mean from
know.
the drugs when we got so high?
Yeah, it was a
'Cause we ate all
420 party.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I
You-
dosed
you were-
all the pasta.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Once
God.
Eh,
you start eating it like that, it's over.
You know how listen, pot actually affects me more than any other drug.
Really?
Yeah, it really does. I can party at anything, and I've done every drug in the book. You name it.
You've done K?
A lot of K.
Really?
Love K. Getting the K hole, it's pretty cool, man.
Getting the K hole.
I've
How
done
many
every drug in the book.
Is this all? Did you do all these drugs pre, post, or during prison?
All from young to old.
Okay, I would assume that I would probably, if I went to prison after I've been done getting raped all day, I would probably do every drug.
Yeah, and you can get most drugs. Yeah, I don't think there's not a drug I couldn't have gotten.
Are there
in
prison
too.
only drugs? Like
Nah.
a drug that they're like, yo, this is like the prison drug.
Well, prison wine. You're not gonna drink that on the fucking
What's
street.
prison
You're
wine?
gonna- oh,
What's
fuck.
prison wine?
I used to make it. I did a video on that on my show. Great video. I don't know, 15 million views on that thing. And I made actual white lightning, which is I take wine. I make the wine from fruit and sugar and stuff you steal
White
out of the
lightning,
kitchen.
like Gatorade?
No, white lightning is like alcohol.
It's like
pure
an
alcohol.
Gatorade. Okay,
There's a white lightning Gatorade.
I think that's a flavor.
Is it?
Is it? I don't know.
no.
Yeah, white lightning.
I'm such a loser.
I love that so
Not
much.
at all, but white lightning is then it's pure alcohol. You put it on fire to show people it's on fire. That's
Oh.
how pure it is.
Oh, so-
and I made it in my RV. Almost blew my fucking RV up. I've done that a few times too.
Have you ever made meth?
No, I never made it. I've done it, obviously.
You ever tried angel dust?
Yeah, did angel dust?
How does that feel?
You know, angel dust was sprinkled with weed when I did it, and it, you know, I don't know if it was the weed or the. And people, what do you mean the weed? No, man, no angel dust. And also, there's a lot of misnomers about drugs. First of all, the government has fucking lied to us for our whole fucking lives. LSD now, and I'm a big LSD or acid. LSD.
Larry,
acid,
are you ever sober?
always?
Oh, okay.
What you have to rate sober. Like people say, Larry, you're fucking not right. You're not normal. I said, let's define
Yeah, what's your
normal.
normal? What's your normal?
Come
This
on,
is
I'll
your
talk to
normal.
you.
You're not anything right now.
No,
Oh.
and I'm fucked up. No, I don't. You know, you get to the point in your life
Right.
where, first of all, I don't give a fuck about what people think. I really don't. I've been through enough in my life that, you know, listen, this is the true story. I have $25,000 in my will for my two friends to throw a massive fucking party when I die.
Nice.
That's true.
I
And
should-
Larry, my son knows that. No, it's in the will. He's got the will.
I love that.
I'll
Because
be
he
there.
gets the company.
I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. My whole thing I want to do when I die is to be cremated and mixed into a bottle of tequila and have everybody do a shot of me.
There you go.
And then I give them diarrhea the next morning too. So I'm like, it's a full Kirill experience.
Keep him
Yeah,
going.
keep them the whole
That's
way.
pretty cool. That's actually a cool
What
way.
I do, I'm going to be cremated and put on a golf course. I used to be a very good golfer. Golf course and on in like the sand trap and stuff and the ocean. You know, I love the water. I'm retired Coast Guard actually. So I want those two things, and I want a massive party, like, you know, Sublime, people, bands, fucking crazy, drugs, women, whatever the fuck you want to
Sick.
bring there.
I like that.
I mean, I feel like you're not going to die for a long time, and by the time you die, 25 grand with inflation, you might be able to get like you might be able to get Subway there. Sandwich
At
catering,
that
not
point,
Subway.
yeah, literally.
That's on him now.
Yeah.
He's
You're
gotta
going to
come
be
up
like,
with-
ah, shit.
Now I got enough friends to put the money up. It's crazy because, listen, I'm sick. I'm a realist, and this is not even being morbid. I'm 60. I'll be 62 years old. What do I got? 15, 18 years left. 80.
What?
Really?
You're going to go to like
No,
90.
guys like you last till
Yeah,
120.
yeah.
Trust me, guys.
Yeah.
You'll say that at the party. So we said that. We really didn't mean it. Fuck him, you know, but we wanted to party. No, honestly, and that's okay. It really is. I'm enjoying my life. I love to build. I'm never going to retire. I love to do what I do. I like people. I'm a people person. I did so much time in prison. I'm not going to waste any of my time out here. You know, people go, "When did you retire, lad? You retired Coast Guard. You get this."
You already retired when you went to prison.
Yeah,
fucking
correct.
what? And do fucking what? Sit around and fucking play dominoes?
Correct.
Right.
Get the fuck out.
Let me ask you, in prison, did you go, when you went away, did you go away with a lot of the mob guys, or you were kind of separated
Hey,
from
you
them?
want to hear something really good? I'm the only man, you could look this up, that went away on a RICO Act alone. You know what the RICO Act
Yeah,
is,
of course,
right?
yeah.
RICO Act, you have to be 2 or more and all that.
Right.
I went away alone because I wouldn't rat. There's not one person who went away on my case. In fact, my brother went away on my case 6 years later after his wife told on him.
What?
Yeah, we can't find her, but you know she
like-
just
She can't find
She's
it.
like the mother from Low.
she
I wonder why.
no,
like the
no,
mother from
I don't
Low.
know what happened. She saw me. I got out of prison, right? And I ended up seeing her at a Crown Plaza at a thing, and I just looked. I turned away and I walked away. She must have recognized me, and I went back to say hello to her, and she moved out of town because nobody's seen her since, you know. And she's listen. I don't. That's my brother. He has to deal
Well,
with
yeah,
Russia,
of course, right.
you know.
That's a different story.
And but listen, the RICO Act. That's what you said.
Yes,
Now, was
exactly.
I in prison? I was in with Vic Arena, Nicky Scarfa. Nicky Scarfa, you know who he is, right?
no, I actually
all
don't
these
know
people-
who that is.
the-
Nicky Scarfa
All
was a mob.
Italian nicknames all just
I know,
sound made
I know
up.
most of them, but I don't know who that
Okay,
is.
Nicky Scarfa was the head of the mob in the Philadelphia mob. He was
I see,
crazy.
I don't-
Nicky
I
Scarfa
know-
ran Atlantic City when it was built and all that. He killed 30 people. He used to fucking, you know, he credited with killed 30, probably more. And I did.
That's how it works, right? You only get credited for the ones you get caught for.
Yeah, that's
It's like
terrible.
a sniper in Iraq.
You know, when they classified, I was doing a show. We were going to do it on serial killers, and I was looking it up. And I go, holy shit! I know a lot of serial killers. If they label a serial killer 2 to 3 or 3 or more, fuck, I know a ton of serial killers. But
my
it's really
God.
this other stuff. But I gotta
Right, but-
update something. First of all, I did 12 years because I got 4 concurrent sentences. That means a lot of people ask you, what do you mean you got 4 12-year concurrent sentences?
Yes, 48 years.
Right.
No, it's not. Consecutive sentence would be 48 years. Concurrent means they all run together concurrently.
Right.
And the reason they do that, you'll hear a guy he got 3 life sentences. Well, you can't die 3 times.
Right. It's just
You get 3 life sentences because if you beat one of those life sentences, you still got to do.
Gotta beat the other 2.
Right. Exactly. See,
so
my
it's like an
case,
insurance policy to keep you in jail.
like mine.
Right.
I thought it's like me lying about being like, I have 9 inches of dick, but really it's 3 concurrent.
Yeah.
Of 3 inches.
Correct.
They're not continuous.
Yeah.
They're
9. I was going to date you.
Yeah.
Right.
So
amazing.
that's how that works as far as the concurrent sentences. A lot of people don't understand that. Then it's funny because when I got out of prison, I ended up developing the #1 program to help young people. Still to this day, it's the #1. It's called the Reality Check Program. And
So you're too busy. You're so busy.
You got so
I
many
don't-
things
yeah.
you're doing.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
he
don't
said because he
stop.
retired for 12 years in prison. That was his retirement.
I feel like he still worked in prison though. You still
Right,
hustled,
I
right?
feel like
you
Hustle,
still
you kidding me?
moving stuff.
had thousands of books of stamps because stamps was money.
Oh wow.
You know, they took cigarettes. You know, when they took cigarettes off the yards in prison, there were more killings than at any time. Well, another time, a lot of Muslims got stabbed when 9/11 happened because they were like cheering, and then Americans they had to close the whole prison system down.
Wow.
They locked us down.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of crazy shit. I was in a tough time.
You guys ever had like lighthearted moments in prison
Oh,
where you guys would
sure.
prank each other, like little giggle times? Or there was no giggling over there?
No,
No, you get caught giggling and you get fucked in the butt.
No, it is. Yeah, it depends. Or crying. There's, of course, there's obviously light time. I tell stories. I went to a wedding in prison.
Like, in Sopranos or in one of the movies, they're cutting up like the board. They got the cheese board. You guys.
We cooked. I used to cook for 15 people. I have a cooking show on my channel. It's doing great.
Oh my God! So you got like fucking chef.
You should
program.
really-
I just won a contest.
You're like The Rock, but for
ex-cons.
like ex-cons.
Yeah. You're like, yeah.
It's amazing.
It's funny. Like we started this cooking show, and because I literally used to cook for 15 guys, 12 guys every Friday.
Where?
In prison.
How?
What do you mean about? You know what Stinger is and all that?
No, where did they just give you supplies?
No. I buy you.
But where the rest of the prisoners aren't like, I want to eat too?
Fuck them, but fuck
But
you.
where
How's
are
that
they
motherfucker?
eating? Where's the kitchen?
They're
Where's-
eating. They're going to the kitchen. This is not county jail where they feed you and they bring you fucking tray into your.
You had your own restaurant, basically. You said.
yeah.
What
You call
are
it a
you guys more
restaurant.
like Goodfellas? What did you guys have? Like your own area?
No. We had like in my cell.
Oh man.
First of all, I used to take a bucket, a round 5-gallon bucket. We used to cut that down, like a 5-gallon bucket.
Where are you getting this bucket?
From the CMS. It's called the maintenance of the place. You get the guys that know, and you cut the bucket up, and you get a bucket, and then you make a stinger to boil water. And we had a microwave. I used to take the microwave and bring it right into my fucking cell.
Wow.
Yeah, we had it fucking locked down. Matter of fact, on my fucking prison, on my podcast and on my show, I've had one of the prison guards that used to guard me. Listen to this great story. I'm home, and I think it was my son. My son said to me, "Hey, Dad, there's this guy saying he wants to talk to you. He's from Georgia. His daughter says he knows you, and he was a guard. You remember Gary? He remembers it." And I go, "Who the fuck wants to know me? He's a guard." He goes, "Yeah, he says he knows you." His daughter saw a video of me making prison pasta. It's aglio olio.
Oh my
prison
God.
pasta. I did a whole video on it. Goes crazy. Millions of views. You can look at millions of views. His daughter sees it and says, "Dad, that stuff you make, there's a guy makes it."
You taught.
I taught the guard. The guard.
The guard doesn't live in prison, but is making prison pasta at home.
Right, no, he made the prison pasta at home. I'm sure he didn't use a stinger.
He got the Larry pasta
he's like,
recipe.
"Sweetie, go get the bucket."
So listen to this. This is the truth. He ends up going to prison. The guard goes to prison. I don't know this, of
What
course.
else did you teach him?
Yeah,
He went to prison.
He ended up going to prison for smuggling creatine and cigarettes into the prison.
It's not even
But
that
now he
serious.
did it for a good thing, too. I mean, this is true. He's on my show. He's a friend of mine. He comes here. He comes on my show
Oh,
often.
you guys became cool after.
Well, we were cool in prison.
Oh wow.
He
Okay.
used to tell us when the
I mean,
fucking-
Larry is the coolest story. Like, if I was a prison guard, I'd be like, all right, enough with the murders. Like, let me talk to a dude that did cool. Like, they make
Yeah.
movies about.
It's dope.
Yeah, it
You
was
know,
nice.
Con stuff like it's dope.
Oh no, it's that. I was a bad guy. Don't get me wrong. I tied up over 100 fucking people. I'm not like the nicest guy in the world.
I mean, that's like amateur
And-
numbers in the
and-
BDSM community.
yeah, I know. But
You're fine. You're
I wish it was
fine.
that community.
You're fine. You're fine.
I want to do
Yeah,
it.
Whatever you did in prison, you did in prison. All right.
When you're tying up
No, that
girls,
was out of prison.
when you're tying up your girl or your wife or whatever, you get scared now. You're like, all right, you can't too tight.
No, I'll tie her. I don't give a shit. Don't tie me. But no, the prison guard's a cool dude. He used to like give us info, like if you came to prison. Now in prison they don't let you take your paperwork, but I used to pull people's paperwork. That means I would know if you were a child molester or a rat. And
Oh, wow.
Matter of fact, I try to educate young people. I said, listen to me. You think you're a slick kid, right? And they go, yeah. Oh fuck, you wouldn't know. I said, here you are, 21 years old. You're driving your car. You got, I don't care, a little bit of fucking coke in the fucking thing or whatever, very small shit. Cop pulls you over and says, where'd you get that? I ain't telling, man. I'm not telling. Kid goes, cop goes, listen to me. I don't give a shit about this, but I'm going to arrest you right now. Or I won't tell a word, won't say a word. You just tell me who you got it from. That's all I want to know. Kid goes, okay, I got it from Larry. I didn't do drugs, but got it from Larry. Right. Cop goes, okay. Lets the kid go. But this is what happens all the time. He goes back to his unit, after his shift, he gives a name, stopped the kid, had minor stuff, nothing, sends it to the drug task force, name Larry Lawton. They look Larry Lawton. He's a nobody. They don't give a shit. Nobody ever hears about that.
Right.
7 years later, that kid gets arrested. Okay? He comes to my prison. couple of guys want to talk. He's not trying to hang with whatever group, the Bloods, Crips, GD, DC Boys. I don't give a shit who it is. Nietas, Latin Kings, G27s, Dirty White Boys, Airy Brother, Airy Son, whatever they want to go to it. I used to deal with the shot calls. That's the lead of those gangs. They come to me and say, do us a favor. What do you need? Check this guy out. Let's say it's you.
You guys doing background checks in prison?
Listen to this.
So worse than the cops.
Watch this. Watch this. How's the background check? I knew what I was doing. I did the law. I got a law degree from that. I would get your name and your information, know where you live. Let's just say you lived in where I live, like Central Florida, Orlando area. I would then go do what they call a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, on your name in every police station right around there. Orlando PD,
and
Sheriff,
then you see that the
Orange
person
County
gave
Sheriff.
you your name. And
Now, when they have to give it to you, if there's not an ongoing investigation, and they have to give everything to you in 5 years, everything. So now I got the paperwork that says, you, Val, did, there's nothing came up. Now, I just go give it to the fucking shot call. They know you're going to rat. They know you're no good. All of a sudden, you're smashed. I watched the fucking guy get a fucking buffer machine drop from the second tier on his fucking head. His whole head went, man, I turned away, I almost puked.
Jesus.
Fucking,
oh my God.
you got to remember,
imagine
though.
going to prison and then the first thing you have to do is like an entrance interview with Larry.
Yeah,
and they're like,
not with me.
You think I make it in prison with my
I
look?
would not survive.
He's kind of cute. He'd be fun.
He's done. You would not come out cute though. You would come out
he'd
mangled.
come out cute, but really beat up.
Yeah.
He'd be
What
like,
do you mean, like
he'd be
hemorrhoids?
flying like this.
Like hemorrhoids, right?
Yeah. You poop fast after prison.
That's funny.
No,
Oh, man.
actually, it's got a lot of elasticity.
Do you think,
ask me.
and I know these are going to be just cliche, trite questions, but, I'm immature. Like, look, everyone, I would say that I would go in straight into prison. Granted, I'm probably not that straight to begin with.
None of us
but
are.
like,
You know
I
that,
would,
right?
I would come
Why'd
out.
you point at me right away?
No, none of us. No, I don't care. I'm talking to him.
The only difference between you and a woman is just the penis, really.
That's it.
That's
Really
it.
fun.
Me and my girlfriend have the same size tits, so like I have pretty much the same
my
size
God.
clit.
Same size
it's
clit for sure.
My dick's classified a clit more than a dick.
Literally.
That's great.
But
Jewish
like,
penis.
what would you do? I don't know what I would. I don't know. I think going to prison probably would be the worst thing. Besides being branded like a child molester, but not going to jail, just going. I think being a child molester is probably the worst thing to be branded.
Oh, if you go to prison,
not even in prison,
Oh,
just outside of
I would
prison.
pull your paperwork. Obviously, if the person is child molested,
Is that the worst thing to be in prison?
I watch them get fucked up the most. Rat. You want to hear the worst? How about a rat child molester?
Ooh,
Oh, damn.
those
Who'd he
are
rat
fucking
out, the
see you
kids?
later.
No, I
He's
mean
like,
I've
these
seen them.
goddamn kids
'cause
can't keep
what
their mouths
happened?
shut.
No, they try to get to prison. What they get what they call a rule. They try to get a Rule 35. Rule 35 means is after you're sentenced, the feds come to you. Let's say you get 20 years, and they come to you and say, "Hey, listen, Val, you want to do those 20? You're going to prison. We're gonna send you to prison where Larry's at. Get friendly with him. See what he did. Talk about it. Are we looking for this kind of information? And you get this information, you're going to get what they call a downward departure under the Rule 35. Now, the feds are only supposed to allow that to happen up to 1 year after your sentence, but they don't. It'll go 3 years.
Of course.
Because they don't say it's an ongoing investigation.
Right,
They'll
right.
fucking lie. Now, if you did it before sentencing, it's called a 5K1. That's a Rule 5K1 to get a downward departure before your sentence. So I would know all this because I pull your paperwork. And you can't have people pull you. I would read that from the docket sheet alone and know what you did. And you're fucked. So I was the kind of guy. Matter of fact, I would pull paperwork on a person, right? And they got smashed pretty bad, really. Usually if let's say my brother got kicked out of a one-level prison because he had his child molester in his cell, and he told the counselor, "Get this motherfucker away from me. I don't want it." He goes, "You don't run this place." He goes, "Oh, yeah? Okay." He went back to his cell. The guy was a big guy. He took a lock and fucking beat him to fucking death with a lock on a fucking belt. Bam! Smashed his
On a
fucking
belt,
head.
right?
Yeah, beat the shit out of him.
Why don't they put the child molesters together?
They do. It depends.
Is there a child molester gang? Is there like
No,
the diddly kids or something?
No,
like
no.
Dirty White Boys
the
sounds
dirty
about-
child molester.
When that changes, we're fucked in this world. I mean,
Well, when
that
there's
comes-
a pedophile prison gang?
yeah, then we're fucked.
I mean, it's
They
already almost
can't
there.
be that strong. Their skill set
getting
is
there.
overpowering children, not
Yeah,
adults, right? They're not
exactly.
real rapists.
They
Well,
don't-
there is
really-
a child molesting gang.
What?
Right? It's in Hollywood.
Oh, that's a good. Or the
like that.
government.
Yes.
They're in the pizzeria out DC.
But you see, let me ask you, since we're on this topic, do you think having the mob around actually was a good thing?
For who? For
For
him?
like the for
For
the
community,
community and social standards.
You know, there's parts of that is true because even with the Hell's Angels,
Correct.
one of the safest streets in New York City was downtown where the Hell's
Yes.
Angels had their clubhouse. Also in the mob where I grew up, you didn't see like an old lady, an old shit. My wife's grandmother used to walk with the little little. Nobody fucking go near her. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And there's still little neighborhoods like that. You hope and stuff. And I don't know if it's just the mob. Here's what happened with the mob. You know, like any organization, the structure's all right. The structure's good and stuff. What happened is now, and they're still out there, is you got kids that just want to make a name for themselves without anything I've ever done for when I was associated with the mob was for a reason.
like
you know,
integrity purposes.
well, no, like people ask me, you did a lot of bad things. I said, I never hurt somebody who wasn't in my game.
exactly.
Now, if you read my book, I have a book, best-selling book called Gangster Redemption. I mean, I tortured a guy with an iron. And it's it's crazy.
It's crazy.
You want to hear the story?
But he deserved it.
He
Well,
did.
yeah, of course.
He deserved
Because he's part of the game. And he did
Yeah,
something
you're
not.
in the
Let me
game.
tell you what
All right.
happened.
You're just playing hockey.
I'll
This
tell you
is
what happened.
cross-checking. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
a little bit.
That's part of the game.
Yeah, a little bit. But this was a high hit. But so here's what happened. We get the kid. He robbed $75,000 from a bookie we know. Okay.
Oof.
His friend gives him up, right? And we get the kid, and New York City, the cellars with the door. You go down
Right.
under the bars. So we got the guy. We got him down there. I got called to do this because I was a pretty savage person. So I got the kid tied up like this thing. I take his pants. I put him down to his ankles. And he's got a shirt. You take a shirt and you put it over the head, so it's like that.
No, Larry, I don't.
Come on.
Larry, I've never tortured anyone.
Oh,
You know when you put the hat over the thing,
It's like the
I'm
Kevin Hart
I
movie,
pour
The Man from
champagne-
Toronto. This
I
is the
pour-
Man from Toronto.
Yeah. I pour champagne on fives, Larry. That's the only way
and
I
you do
torture
good at that.
parents. I
And you
torture
do good
parents.
at that.
Yeah,
Champagnes?
correct. Exactly.
I like that.
Okay, so
So-
tell me how you
So
would
you do
torture.
know.
So you take the shirt, like a guy would do this. He'd go like that.
And his
Oh.
hands are behind his back.
Yeah, his hands
Well,
behind his
it's gay
back,
pride.
shirt.
He's on
It's
the
all
chair.
of West
That
Coast is like
was done easily, right?
Yeah.
Put a
So-
choker on his neck.
Right. Where's my laugh button? These guys should have left the laugh button. I would have had that there. So anyway, so
good.
I got the guy down there and I said, I had a guy named Joe Cap, me and another guy, and I said, Joe, go get the iron. And he gets the iron, plugs in. But
Is it tire iron?
No, like an iron. Your clothes iron.
Oh.
For wrinkles.
For wrinkles. Or torture.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what it is.
We got a wrinkle
Just
in
in
this.
case they have
No,
a
it's
wrinkle in
just
their
a story.
chest.
So we're sitting down in there, and I said to the kid, I says, all right, where's the money? I swear I didn't do it. I swear I didn't do it. I swear to God, I didn't do it.
It's crazy.
And I go, listen to me. You know who I am? He goes, yeah. I say, listen, I don't have patience for you. I gotta come from fucking Florida. I says, where's the fucking money? He goes, I swear I didn't do it. I took the iron. Right when he says it, I go, psh. To this day, I smell the fucking skin. There's a kid, he's got this like an iron mark.
Like
So I go
Marv
like
from
this,
Home Alone?
He screamed, ah! And I go, okay. So he gets fucking calms down, he's sweating, he's looking at me. I said, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I look right at his penis and dick, and I said, I'm gonna ask you one time.
Oh my God.
Where's the money? Don't damn me 66th Street, don't damn me 66th Street. I said, Joe, go get the money. Get his keys out of his pants. Goes, gets it. We're waiting there for 15, 20 minutes, not even. Gets right down, not far. Goes and comes back. He goes, I don't know, 71. I don't know how much was there.
It was down like 3K, right? 4K?
4 or 5. I don't know what it exactly
Do you
was.
care at that point or no?
No, I don't give a shit, man. I did my job. So, the guy goes, you're going to be mad. I don't give a fuck. They're not. I said, listen, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go, and you tell every one of these motherfuckers if they ever fucking rob from somebody over here. And they knew who they robbed from. That was the problem.
Right.
If you ever fucking rob from somebody, you'll never leave this fucking goddamn cellar. Ever.
Oh my God, you almost ironed his penis?
Oh, I would have.
The Snickers
There's no
vein off his
almost.
dick?
There's no almost. I would have fucking...
That would have been great.
It would have looked like a seal bag.
he would have really been fucked up. He probably
Of
would have killed
course.
himself. But I wouldn't have killed him. I would have
I would
Biggest
always
penis.
go for the. I would be if I was in the mob and I tortured people. I would torture people by just going straight for the dick. Because for any guy, that's the sign of masculinity. It's the only purpose of making money is to keep this dick in
Right,
check,
of
right?
course.
It's a
So
good
if I
point.
just, I'd be like, you know,
Sure.
like. You know,
That actually is a
I'd be
good
like
point.
the dick whisperer. They'd be like, bring him in.
Bring
like
him in.
Bear Jew.
But if
in
you live-
Glorious Bastards, I'd just come out with like.
Did you guys know I was in prison
cigar
with the guy with
cutters?
the biggest penis in the world?
Oh, the black dude that hangs.
No, makes him look like he's small.
Stop it.
True story.
No way.
Anybody who's listening to this podcast right now, get your phone, and Google biggest penis TMZ. TMZ biggest penis. These guys are doing it right here in the
Biggest
shop.
penis.
Look, even he's doing it. We got the producer over in the corner. Just
Man
do
with
it.
a 19-inch penis?
Yeah, that's Roberto
Penis.
Cabrera. Look at his name, Roberto Cabrera. Now that
Jesus.
Roberto, I did his legal work. I was in prison, and you can look at all the stories. He was in
That's a
Yazoo.
penis?
Yeah,
I
he was
literally
in,
thought he was holding a loaf of bread.
no, he was in Yazoo prison with me, and
Look at this thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks like he's smuggling flashlights. in
that
his
is that
sweatshirt.
is
That
you
looks
could
like a
put-
good fucking.
It's too big, though. What are you
baguette
supposed to
right
do with
there.
that?
Listen, I used to tell the kid, I used to do his legal work.
Why?
Because why not? I did
Where,
legal
in prison?
work
You were in prison with him?
Yes, that's what I said. I know the
Can
guy.
you imagine that guy shows up to rape you on the first day?
Rape you. He used to funny. He used to go to the hole all the time. He used to hang the penis over the fucking side of the bed and fuck
probably
with the
faints
girl
when he gets
guards.
hard.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He not only doesn't, and I used to say him. I used to fuck with him. I said, Roberto. I said, you know, fuck. He go, oh, one girl. Could barely speak English. You know, he go, here's how it happened. Here's how we find out. We know you don't find out. You see it. He's coming from the kitchen now in prison. When you're in maximum security places and high security places, you have a metal detector in the middle. Now, all from the kitchen, the education, the yard, they all have to come to the middle, go through metal detectors, and then they go to the housing units, okay? So that's how it goes. So he's coming back from the kitchen. The guard stops him, shakes him down, says, give me. Think he's stealing something in the kitchen. He goes, mine. Guard says, give me it. He goes, mine. Sent him to the lieutenant's office. Lieutenant's office, they strip search him. His fucking thing is fucking below his fucking knee. Now, mind you, anybody that tells you the small dick shit with the big feet, big penis, the guy was 5'7", about 150 pounds, and a fucking little 6. His foot, like you know,
like a Lego
and
feet.
his fucking leg, is, you know, his cock is fucking below his knees and the size of a Coke can. At minimum of a Coke can, bigger.
Can't even jerk off with that.
No, he did. He two-handed it, but
That
so-
sounds exausting.
no.
You
Imagine-
to hire like two Mexicans to
that's
fucking
a
help
curse,
you.
not a gift.
No, absolutely. But I used to say to him, so I used to mess with the black dudes. They'd come down. He'd come down and be going, bam, bam. And I'd tell, yo, hey, homie, look at my homie right here, man. Fuck you and your big dick. You know, and they'd say, fuck you, Lawton, man, fuck you. And I just fuck with them. And so he'd come in, and I did his legal work. He came in for illegal entry, which he had a 16-point
I
enhancement.
mean, legal entry. He rolls over in bed. His dick's in America, right? Like, what's illegal? Like,
He could definitely, his dick could be in America and his ass in fucking Mexico. But
illegal entry. Any girl he fucks is an illegal entry.
well, listen
Gotta
to
have a
this.
passport for that
He
thing.
only
That shit
fucked
is
one
crazy.
woman. He said to me. He goes, no, only 9 inches. You know, she yell, only 9 inches.
Only 9 inches.
Yeah, no, you were joking last time. It's 9. He only put 9 inches in her. The guy's got 19, 20, whatever the fuck it is. Legit, this is fucking a legit penis. I mean, this is like not your fantasy.
Is he alive?
You're not measuring it from your asshole to your fucking
crazy.
tip. You know, you're measuring this fucking dick.
That's 19 flaccid, probably.
I didn't ask him. How's that?
Bro, he must get lightheaded when he gets hard. All that
That's what
blood
I
rush
said.
just.
faint.
I don't know, but he really does come and all that. I mean, he used to get in trouble and go to the hall because every time I went to the hall, it was a pain in the ass because I'm doing his legal work, so I have his paperwork. It was funny how we even found out it was on TV. I'm sitting in bed with my girlfriend, and I used to tell the story, and people, yeah. She goes, Larry, get up. It's on TMZ, get up. What are you? The guy with the biggest penis, and they mentioned Yazoo prison because I was in Yazoo. And
Sounds like a Japanese restaurant.
yeah, you wouldn't want to be there. So
I
it was a
definitely
gang
know, yeah.
prison, yeah. And so they because I fucked with the prisons. I was in the hole for 11 straight months. I was in the hole for 3 years out of my time.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I
you
went
do?
insane.
Why? 'Cause you did
And
something-
they tortured me. They strapped me down, beat me, pissed on my face, spit in my. Wow, look, I'm getting fucking chills.
getting an erection.
That's fucking crazy.
I'm getting turned on.
Fuck, look, I'm getting
Like, they pissed on me. They tortured me.
I go crazy. I throw the board around. I go crazy. No, Roberto used to come and go to the hole all the time, but I was doing his paperwork, and they they made a sock for him at a laundry. You know, that he can make like a sock penis that he can. They put his picture up in,
Like a holster.
in the guard. Yeah, like, they put a picture up in the guard shack so he could. They know he's not stealing stuff out of the kids. We all steal. I mean, we had guys that steal. That's what I said. How did I feed the people? I used to steal. I got caught. I went crazy in one prison and went back to the penitentiary. When I go to I went to a medium.
Why do they move you so much?
Because I was a rough person. Like I got
you're
in trouble.
so gentle and you're kind.
I'm a
and,
nice kind
but
man.
would you have to step up in that environment?
Yeah,
It's like
I'd
eat or
snap.
be eaten in there.
Yeah, I
like
became
you
an animal.
you can't just be.
Well, you know what I used to
I'd be
say.
like, I'm writing poetry today. I'm sad.
No, I got that gorilla in me, and I even tell people today, don't take my niceness for it, because if I snap and gorilla, I'm capable.
I can tell
know
you
I'll
got that
kill
temper in you.
Yeah.
I know I'll kill you, and I know I can do it, and I know I'm capable. Not just of capable of doing it, it wouldn't bother me, and that's kind of like I don't like.
Let me ask
I try
you.
to catch myself,
Right.
you know,
right. Like that's what I was gonna say. Like when you have to torture that guy with a fucking iron. Do you just look at that guy as like a piece of shit because you said he's
not
in
a
the
piece
same
of shit
game?
even. I just think this is business.
This is part of the game.
Yeah, I guess it's like being someone that works in a slaughterhouse, right? Like I
Yeah,
would not be
exactly.
able to look at those cows.
Like if you're playing
Like, I
hockey,
can
you're
cons-
not gonna not check the guy.
Right, but I can put myself in a hockey game. I can't put myself into torturing someone or slaughtering a cow. And if that industry exists, then I get how he gets into his
Right,
head
correct.
to like, whatever.
And it's not
interrogate.
that
a
I'm
sport.
crazy. It's just
Yeah.
that that I know, I always say I never want my gorilla to come out because I like myself now. I didn't like myself when I was a bad guy. I was a really not right guy. I wasn't right in the head because I used to carry 2 pistols around, shut up. I didn't give a fuck. I never thought I'd live.
Well, you
to
grew
the
up a
age I
certain-
am.
you grew up a
Yeah,
certain
I
way,
mean,
you know what I mean?
I grew up
Like-
in the Bronx in Brooklyn, and fucking these Bronx. I mean, you fucking.
Right.
It was fucking
In the
survival of
70s,
the
right?
fittest.
The 80s,
Yeah,
70s,
fucking
80s,
60s. I mean, late
Yeah.
60s.
Well, yeah, you were born in 67.
61.
61. Okay,
You know, so then 71. I started bookmaking football tickets at 12 years old.
It's crazy.
Matter of fact, the guy that I used to run to, his father was a big mobster. I just talked to him on the phone 6 months ago. He goes, Larry, we're so proud of you. You know, you're doing good. Doing shit. He goes, I got to say, I guess I take the credit for bringing you into the business. I said, thanks, Louis. But no, it was really good to talk to him. And it's funny because the guys who know me from the day, they're all happy that I'm doing good. You know, I got
Right,
out.
I was gonna ask if
Yeah.
it's like if the mob looks at it like, all right, he got
No.
out, and like,
Matter of
is
fact,
that the only way you can get out of the mob by doing your time?
Yes.
not
Or-
ratting, and then they're like, cool. They're not like
Absolutely.
you're back in. Like, why watch fucking Tulsa King? You watch that show? Please tell me you watch Tulsa King. It's the biggest,
I don't.
awesome, dude. You should watch Tulsa King.
I got to do something to him. I'm going to tell you a
Okay,
quick story.
Go first.
Come over here. Can he get on a mic? I need him on a mic.
Sure, right here.
Get on a mic, son. Bring the chair. Yeah. Bring
Does
the
that
chair.
mic? Does that mic work, Judson?
Yeah, he's going to put it up. I know what he's going to do. You want me to do it?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Go ahead. You go in there, son.
You over there?
Yeah, you can listen in. Whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want.
Okay, I'll tell you funny. We just argued him. He's my son here. I love my son to death. I want to kill him sometimes, but I love my son. And it's funny, you talk about getting out of the mob, right? And I took my son. Now, my son was very young. He'll remember these days while he's here. I used to take him to the bar and the club, the mob hangouts when he was a kid. We used to give him rolls of quarters, and he used to put them in the machine and win real money. And we stand him on a chair. I got him gambling at 5 years old, 6 years old. His mom ain't gonna like that one, but that's true. So anyway, what happened was I got out of prison, and we went back to my old boss.
Okay.
But here you tell the story. And it's a funny story because when they saw me, they loved me. They'll tell you, they hug me. I mean, it's great. I call my son, he comes over, everything. And they remember him when he was a kid. Talk about a smart kid. He used to take it, when I'm in prison, he used to take his bicycle and ride it back and forth in front of the place. And the guys would say, hey, kid, how's your dad? Here's a 20. He was hustling them.
Oh,
He's
Yeah,
hustling
it sounds for a little bit. Yeah.
Probably like 8 years old.
Yeah.
See, all
9
these
years old.
all these stories sound so romanticized, and I'm so jealous. And I'm sure they were terrifying, and obviously,
I actually don't think they're terrifying. I actually think those times were actually it seems
Well, he grew
terrifying
up that
to
way.
us.
All his friends have dads in jail and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
right.
you know?
So I guess it's like par for the course. But yeah, it's just You know, like the mob life is just so romanticized.
The best.
Because of movies, because it's like.
And it's not.
And it's.
They don't pay you when you're in or anything like that. Don't get me wrong on that, you know.
But let me tell
But
you,
just that concept of like we drop a table. It just seems like.
Oh, we did all that. I mean, I used to pull up on the sidewalk and fucking places.
It's like brotherhood. It feels like brotherhood. You know
Back
what I mean?
in those days, it was a lot better. But I want him to tell the story because he told me the other day. He remembers.
I want to hit the slot.
No, when you met the girl on the street and she says, "Oh, that you said."
Yeah, I'm not going to say any names, but it was a little after he got out, and he calls me up. He's like, "Oh, I got a new place in Florida, 5-bedroom house, lived by himself. Never went upstairs. He just needed the space because he was so enclosed for so long." So I'm in Florida. He's got the script for the book, and I'm reading it, and I recognize the last name. So I'm talking to a girl at the time, nothing like that, just back and forth. I said, "You got an uncle?" I said, "Your last name seems very similar," because he changed the name in the book.
Right.
Two letters, you know.
But enough.
She said, "No, I don't have an uncle named that." I said, "I have my grandfather." I said, "Oh," you know, I start going back and forth. She's like, "That's your father?" I said, "Yeah." And this is the boss at the time.
Right.
He tells a different story every Christmas about your father, and we never knew who it was. So she went back and told him, and he got a laugh out of it. It was hysterical.
Dude, that's
Wow,
nuts.
that's crazy.
Yeah, because he.
You were. This was a chick you were.
No, nothing
Back
like
in the
that.
day?
Yeah. This had to be 2009.
And it was funny because back in the day, like when my brother was shot and we came back to the place and we're fixing him up on the second floor. These are all movie shit in the book. It's in the book.
That's the one where you guys robbed that store and the guy fired back.
Right.
And you had the BB gun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big joke. on the
Yes.
internet. No, it's very good. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, he brought a slingshot and.
A slingshot, a BB gun, a bow and arrow. But it was funny because my son, I remember so many stories with Willie, my buddy, and my boss. And he was a boss, and then we had a boss above him, obviously. And then that boss above him was actually Castellano, and then it was Gotti. So that's how, you know, the level. And I'm nobody. I'm an associate, but I would made a lot of money for people. You know, that's the difference.
Right,
I wasn't
gonna
a maid guy. I can't be a maid guy, anything like that.
Could I just ask these questions? So say you're robbing a place, right? And you walk away with whatever, at the time, 500 grand in jewels.
More, okay, usually more,
Now
but
it's
what
like,
would you get? Right, whatever.
Right. So how much of it would you get?
Sure. Depending on the load of what it is, like Rolexes. If I went into a Rolex place, not Rolex, let's say I got 50 regular Rolex. The Oyster Perpetuals are normal ones.
Right.
They go for about 5,000-6,000. I'd get 2,000 a pop. So if there's 50 Rolexes right there, that's $100K.
Right, but do you have to cut the family in?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. I assumed you give them and they give you the take.
No.
Because they don't want to get their hands dirty. You do everything and then you cut them in.
I get, matter of fact, people used to say, man.
But you get the tip from the family first.
And or you have to find everything yourself?
No, everything's me.
Oh, so that means
the first one was a setup.
Right, I remember that.
But after that, I said, man, I can make money in this shit, man. Fuck, I'm a smart guy.
Or was it like a rush thing? Like, it's
there's
better
no
than
question.
being a regular
Listen,
job.
I was talking about drugs earlier.
I feel like
there's
that at
no better
Target.
high than that. There's no better high than that.
When you're setting up one of these heists, is it like an Ocean's 11 situation where you're like, all right, we have 4 guys. One guy's like a fucking acrobat. One guy's like a safe crack.
Not like that, but
Or
yes,
is it
Ocean's
just like
11.
you and a bunch of goons
No.
and you guys just go, bah, bah,
No.
bah.
My robberies were planned, case. You do this. You go when I do this, when I make this move. We case it for weeks. You know, I knew everything that was coming. I knew every person that was coming, every car in that parking lot. I used to know when the mailman comes, the special deliveries are coming. I would know everybody's where they lived, so I could even check their car at the house. We had diversions.
Was
we were
there-
going to throw Molotov cocktails. I was going to do a robbery in Miami where I was going to put dynamite on the guy and kidnap his family, leave him there with the guy with the fucking family. And
Some Grand Theft Auto
I've
shit.
heard it all,
Yeah, this is nuts.
you heard all this shit, of course. But matter of fact, when his uncle and I get together, now my brother, we'll start talking. He goes, yeah, you know, maybe we should, my brother, little doo-doo sometimes, and he goes, oh, we should have did that. No, Dave, we should not have did that. That's no statute of limitation, you know.
Right.
When you kidnap, there's no statute of limitation.
There's none?
None.
What doesn't have statute of limitations?
Murder, espionage, and kidnapping, right off the top of my head.
Wow.
There's no statute of limitations. So if you kidnap somebody,
No matter how long.
10 years, 50 years. Murder, 50 years. 100, whatever.
You still going in. That's it. See you later.
Well, you know, they got to prove it. Obviously, the longer
Right.
time that goes, they get a
crazy.
lot to prove. But there's no, just like espionage.
But why jewelry?
No, jewelry has a statute.
No.
of
Why
limitations.
jewelry for you? Like, did you ever take cash? Was it easier to flip a Brinks truck or no? Because
No, I knew guys who did Brinks trucks. But let me ask you a question. They just did a robbery. I was on TV on it now for I don't know how many years ago. $136 million was in a briefcase.
Do you get annoyed at that?
No, I love it.
No, I mean like back in the day where you're like, fuck, I had to do $1 million robbery when I could just do one $136 million.
Not at all.
Gone.
Not at all. I mean, they've never been caught. As a matter of fact, that guy. And
is that the rule, to just do one and never do it again and
Well,
make all that money?
It's hard to not come back after you score
it's
130
$100 million is a lot of
Yeah,
money.
You're
it's hard
100%.
it's hard
It's an
to-
addiction?
It's crazy, of course.
It's the rush, right?
It's the rush.
I mean, if you have $100 million from a robbery, you could probably do more crimes and use your money to like
make them better and better. You know, it's winning.
It's a
I used to
gambling,
want to
bro.
be
It's the same thing.
I used to want to be a fly on the wall. Now, I'm not an idiot like arsonist and go, let me go watch the fire I just burnt so they fucking arrest me.
Right.
But I used to want to like see how long it took them to get out of the fucking cuffs, how long it took the cops to get there, how did they do. You know, I wanted to really.
There's a
see
science to it.
There's no question there's a science to it. I mean, I got better and better and better. I mean, there wasn't. I got caught not by a rat. I got caught. Most people do by the fence or the rat. Nobody went to jail on my case. Remember that. I got caught by great police work, and that's FBI. So anybody ever tells you the police, FBI is
I
stupid.
like how you gave them credit.
Absolutely.
Right, they connected two cases.
Let me
right?
explain. Let me explain. It's connected. It connected all fucking
I thought
20.
I thought the first they were like there was two strings of robberies that
They
were like
connected 20.
eventually, but in the beginning, right?
No, they
was
connected
reading.
more. That was the
Okay.
cops there. The FBI is so good. They have more money. They have. See, I never worried about local police because listen, a guy retires, he gets another murder case. How many detectives you think they have just to stay on Larry 24/7, and that's all you're gonna do? They're not gonna do it.
It's also a big budget. You
Also,
gotta-
nobody like gives a fuck about robberies anymore. I feel
No,
like.
to a degree, you're right.
right.
Well, who really hate the FBI guy caught me was a guy named Matt Mullen, nice guy, and he really
You
was.
guys friends right
No,
now?
no. Matter of fact, you know,
I mean, do you respect these people?
Absolutely.
You're like, in this game, you just be like, what? This guy's doing his
No,
job.
no. Matter of fact, when they caught me, you know, I remember I had $3 or $4 grand in my pocket, a good sneakers. I know I'm going to jail. I know the game. I say, hey, give your wife the money. Right in your pocket. Take your shoes off, switch them, because I know I'm fighting in the first day in. So I do all that, and
You gave him the money. You said give it to your wife.
no,
Oh.
he right there. My wife's there.
Oh,
You
to
take
your-
the money,
to your
take
wife.
everything.
Oh,
I thought you were giving it to the FBI agent.
I wish. I wish it was that easy.
for Christmas.
Yeah, how
I'd
many?
have given him a lot more.
Do you have like inside men eventually in some of these robberies? Like, are you like, yo, like I'll pay off this person, or they're involved somehow, or is it just really
No.
you guys as outsiders coming in?
No,
and
the more
taking it
people
down?
you have, I wear a shirt. We can keep a secret if 2 are dead.
Yeah.
And that's a true statement.
Fact.
And you know, I had a very, very tight crew. Nobody ever in my crew gave certain people something so they could never say they gave it to them. They might know a lot, but nobody ever physically gave somebody something or got something for me. I was the only one in that.
Would you ever
moment.
get the band together again?
One's dead.
2 robberies?
One's dead.
Right. Robberies
No,
have-
listen, I could definitely. You know, people ask me this all the time. Could you do one?
Oh yeah, that
question.
was one of my questions because you didn't. Because one of my favorite Instagram reels you've ever done. It's an old one. It's where someone says, "If I had like $1 million of stolen jewelry, how do I get rid of it?" And like you're being very like, you're just, hey, you know, this isn't good. You shouldn't do that. But then you chuckle to yourself. You're like, oh.
I said, give it to me.
I give it to me. I can get rid. How would you do it? Can you?
In a second.
Is there a way? You're not allowed to break this down.
No,
Or like
no,
what's
no.
the moving pieces? How many bodies are involved into get? Like, say I come to you, I'm like, Larry, I have.
Listen,
$1 million
okay,
in
put it
jewels.
this. You say to me, hey, La, I got to talk to you. Okay, well.
We're a block from the Diamond District
Okay.
right now, Larry.
I know.
Correct.
Right? You don't think I know where it is?
Larry's-
That's bullshit.
That's why he said he could do it in 2 seconds.
But that's bullshit, you know. The Diamond Street, that's where Trump goes.
Right.
That's where you go who are rich.
Right.
You know, somebody like that goes. A guy like me don't go there. That's not the real jewelry exchange. That's not the diamond exchange. Let me give you a quick lesson
give
on
me the-
diamonds.
Yes, give us the
Okay.
rundown.
If you're at home and you
You
want to
most-
steal some diamonds,
Make this a
what are we
TED Talk,
doing?
right?
Okay, you have to know what you're stealing. First of all, I went to the GIA Institute, which is Gemological Institute of America, just to learn about diamonds. Not only the 4 C's, you got to learn cut and diamonds, what they are, Lazar Kaplan, I can go on to that. But diamonds come from Africa, the mines of Africa. That's the most money.
That's-
Emeralds and
that's-
stuff come from Colombia and South
That's what
America.
Elon
and stuff.
Musk's parents, father owns, right?
I don't know
He
who
owns
the
like
fuck
a
owns
fucking
it.
mine.
Fine.
Does
Yeah.
he really? Is that?
Yeah, that's how he
No
got his
wonder the
money.
motherfucker.
Elon Musk is literally the trust fund baby.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
he's a
he's-
pretty smart trust fund
Right.
baby. He's totally off the. He's autistic.
Yeah.
He's on the charts.
Yeah, of course. You have to be.
I have to be.
You
totally.
have to be.
Yeah,
So
he-
anyway,
he's on
you
charts
get
for
your
sure.
diamonds. They come to either Antwerp, Israel, the best cutters in the world. Now they're the cutters. But let's say you own a jewelry store here.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go down. You want to get diamonds in Africa, right? I mean, you want to get them the best prices. So you go to De Beers. De Beers owns most of the mines. Now De Beers is so smart. 15, 20 years ago, Africa was going to release mines, that they knew about. De Beers bought it up for billions and billions of dollars. So they could have crashed the market.
Right.
Could have fucking fucked everybody up. But anyway, so you go, you got qualified. Now you go into a room in De Beers, and you're a buyer now. They put 3 bags in front of you. You don't get to pick every little diamond out of that bag. You either buy that bag for $1.2 million,
like
this
a mystery
bag for
box
$3
for
million.
diamonds.
No, you get to look at it,
Right.
but you don't.
You
just
can't
get,
mix and match the
No,
three.
you get this. Is you want this one, or this one, and you whatever the price is. I don't know how to negotiate, but that's how that works. That's why the jewelers have the good ones, the cutters. Oh, I can do this. I can make baguettes. I can make little rings. I can make
Right.
So
So it's like it's
So
like
now-
a sushi chef.
So now the jewelry comes from there, like you, the main buyer. There's a few on 47th Street over in the Diamond Street, but a lot of them go down to Little Italy. Underneath Little Italy is really like a diamond exchange.
Yeah, Bowery over there.
Yeah.
72.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
There's a whole. That's where now, guys like me, there's no if you knew me and you're a jeweler, you got the best price in the world.
Right.
No, you can't get a better price than stolen.
Right.
You
right.
can't get a better
That's
price
true.
than stolen.
Right.
My biggest mistake in even doing this business was not opening my own store in California on Rodeo Drive, because I ended up finding out years later a lot of my jewelry that wasn't signature pieces. If they're signature pieces and recognizable, they have
Right.
to
You
be
would have
broken
just
down.
you would have
Right.
just taken your own diamonds,
Redid them,
redid them,
reset
and
them,
started
and-
your own store.
I could have fucking been killing it in Rodeo Drive, and then
What are we
after I'm
doing?
retired
What are we
there, I
doing?
would have
We
fucking robbed that place.
We still could, Larry.
Yeah, you could. What I find out later of my whole career was that who hated me, they really didn't get the jeweler owners that were real pissed. They got the jewel insurance companies hated me because I was killing
Of course,
them.
because they're bleeding.
Listen,
they're
the
bleeding
FBI
out.
agent
Yeah.
says to me one day, three great stories. He goes, first of all, they bring me in, and he shows me a 8x10 glossy of my boss, and my boss's boss actually, and he look at it and he goes, "Do you know him?" I said, "I don't know him." Beautiful glossy, okay. Next 8x10 glossy, it's me and the guy Dominic standing at a parking meter right on Stillwell Avenue. And I go, I go to that bar right there. It's just, I know, oh, okay. Next 8x10 glossy is me and this Jaguar. Now, I remember where we were going that day. We actually, first time and only time, I went to Castellano's house in Toad Hill.
Oh wow.
It's over in Staten Island. But anyway, he said, come with me for a ride. So anyway...
So when the mom goes, "Come with me for a ride to Castellano's house."
Well, you know what I meant.
Right. That's,
So
I know what
If
you mean.
any Italian American ever says to me, "Come with me for a ride,"
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm.
I might
well,
take
no,
off.
no.
running.
If there was
I'm
another
running.
guy in the
On the
back
scooter.
seat, I got worried. If there's another guy in the back seat, then I'm worried.
Correct.
But so I said, he drove me to the train station up near Pisa Deli. So the guy starts laughing. I said, listen, it's not me. It's just not me. And I was facing life at the time.
Right.
It's just not me, And I had at the time a 15-month-old daughter, and my son. He just turned 7 because he turned 7 on November 30th, and this was in maybe mid-December already. And my son, I'm close with it. I used to come to Florida and everything. Oh my God!
Did you understand what was happening? A little bit at 7?
Couple years later.
Right.
Yeah, they were
How do
too
you
young.
make that choice?
But you
To
knew
like not? How do you make that choice of being like, I'm not ratting out the mob, or I get to not be with my family?
Okay.
Or do you go, if I rat them out, I won't have a family. They'll just kill everyone.
No, 'cause I wasn't worried about the killing because I was a guy who did a lot of mean work. So I mean, no, not the killing. I didn't say that. I never said killing on this podcast.
I know.
There's
nothing.
no word killing on this.
No,
podcast.
no. This
didn't. You
podcast,
said-
we're killing it on this podcast.
Yeah,
is
that's
you're
what I
saying.
meant.
Yeah, it's a
No, my point
sliver.
was I never thought about it because I raised my son and my daughter now. It's funny. I'm in prison and my ex-wife calls me and says, "Your son, I'm mad at your son." What did he do? He stole cars out of the school and he wouldn't tell where he come. You remember that when you did the matchboxes?
I went to Catholic school, so it was kindergarten or first grade, so you had the sweatpants and had the cuff on the bottom.
Yep.
He's stuffing
So
cars.
I'm stuffing like cars in there, and I'm walking out. I got fucking my legs like this, and I'm jingling. The teacher's like, "What do you got?" I said, "Nothing." She got, "You got cars in there?" I'm like, "No." She jingles a match. She's like, I said, "Fuck, where'd those come from?" I said, I didn't take them. I said, "What?"
I left.
Forget. Next day, throw a few more, and I get away with it. 2 days later, the teacher's like, "It's like 15 cars missing again from the school. You got caught 3 days ago." She said, "Did you take them?" I said, "No, I didn't take them." Sat me down for 4 hours. My mother called. When he called, my mother's screaming at him. "He's not fucking telling him nothing." What do you want me to do? Wrap myself out?
I said, "That's good." I said, "It worked. I'm here for a reason. It worked."
Yeah. Next time, tell me you have a 19-inch dick. Be like,
Yeah.
she was one of these sweats.
Oh, please. I wish. No, I don't.
Oh,
But,
God, that's
but
great.
so when I'm sitting there, and you're facing that, I always said to myself, even when I was doing it, I'm either going to die or go to prison for life. That was just my mindset. I never thought I'd live. I never thought I'd live to 50 ever in my life. Ever.
Die where? At all? Sometime soon?
I die, should get shot.
Right.
So I never in my life thought I'd live to the age.
So you woke up every day knowing like, yo, shit. If shit goes down, shit goes down. And
I used to carry 2 pistols all the time.
Crazy.
I used to carry a Glock with a laser and a 357 mag. Sometimes and I had a Model 36, Model 36. I think it was a little snub nose.
That sounds so, Larry. Like, I know it sounds so cool, but it sounds so stressful too.
Oh,
like
very
I'm
stressful.
stressed out all day, and I just deal with merch. And you're like, you gotta wake up, and you're like, all right, get my Glock, get my gun.
But there's something.
No,
I think
you're
it's
right.
that-
You're 100%.
Right, like
There's
it
no question.
sounds so, like all these stories of like successful mobsters. You're like, yeah, they have all this money, they achieve all this cool shit. But you're like, it just sounds.
But they're gambling
is
with their
miserable,
life.
too.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
to them, it's that rush. Every
No, I'm not
day.
disagreeing.
It is the
It's
rush,
it's
Val.
that
You got
rush.
that point, but he's so like
It is stressful.
today, I run this, the company,
Right.
and I get stressed out. I call my like, there's a fucking clip you got to read from South Park. You guys got to watch this clip.
Okay.
So, you know South Park?
I love
Okay.
South Park.
Do you remember the episode when Mickey Mouse fucks with the Jonas Brothers?
Yeah.
And beats the shit out of them?
Yeah, because you don't fuck with the
And
mouse.
fuck, I said, I call myself, I make them all watch it. I watch that every day for motivation. I said, don't fucking get the mouse pissed off today.
Yeah.
'Cause I love it. Comes in, don't stop, beat the shit, talk to me like that. You take it all the way to Colorado.
That's
I
so
love
good.
that fucking clip.
Dude, so good.
I know that clip, and so much, and I call myself the mouse. Well, I stress sometimes. Everybody does. It's normal.
Are you
love
more
it.
stressed out now than you were when you were in the mob?
No, I mean, it's like, I yell because listen,
yeah.
I am a workaholic. It's just I really am.
That's the crazy part is like I only see you as the teddy bear that we've hung out, but like I would hate to see you snap.
I'll call you on a 3-way on Tuesday.
He's like snapping.
No. I wouldn't. I don't want to snap.
I'd be like,
I don't want to snap. You don't want me to snap.
It's true.
Can I tell you?
It's bad when someone tells you you don't want to see me
No,
snap.
yeah.
No, I say
With a
you
smile,
don't want to
too.
see the gorilla come out. That's
Yeah.
all.
Can I tell you? You ever been in situations with the mob where you were in the room because you said you were an associate, right? If you were in the room and somebody's getting down dirty in the bar and they're explaining something to somebody and something just goes overboard and then boom, the guy just gets clipped and you're like,
no,
holy shit!
not
You're
there.
like, why did I have to see that?
No.
No?
I see people get. I mean, I see a lot of dead.
But I'm
bodies,
saying
man.
like maybe I don't not necessarily dead, but just even like an uncomfortable beating
Well,
or
like a
something.
choke.
Oh,
I could
I did that. Oh, I'll tell you a great story about that. That's what I'm talking about beating. You want
But
to tell
like
a great
imagine,
story?
like let's say you had
Like
a
a
friend.
Joe Pesci moment?
No, like
Just-
yeah, let's say you had a friend right from the neighborhood, and you're like, fuck, I really don't want this guy to get beat down right now, and you feel bad because you
Nah,
you
I
like
never
the
felt
guy.
bad
You
when I
never,
did.
you never felt bad, no.
That was my thing.
Every beating was deserved. Man.
No, I
Every
mean
beating was
that. I
deserved.
never heard someone who didn't deserve
But you
it.
get what I'm trying to ask you.
One guy, I take a kid up here, but first, you guys got me laughing because, first of all, about stressing out. As much as I can stress out now, I realize it's not the stress level.
Right, no one's trying to kill you right now.
Yeah, I can get mad. I do, but I think back, oh, fuck, I'm not in an 8x6 cell.
Right.
I mean, I'm not
What's
in the
easier?
hole.
What's easier, Larry? Running the business you run now or stealing jewelry?
Stealing jewelry.
Yeah.
Fucking A, easy. Because first of all,
This is such an unrewarding process, like getting like successful is such a slow burn.
Such a
and
slow
you feel
burn.
like, oh, next year I'll be the most successful version of me. And you're like, oh my God, it's been 10 years.
Yeah, I don't even know if I look at it like that. I mean, I look at it like I like what I do. I'm a storyteller. I like people.
Right.
I like
well,
to
you've
party.
collected all the stories.
I like-
Someone's definitely making a movie about you.
Yeah, I mean, I like also like people, and I told Nick, I don't bullshit. I'm not gonna bullshit. I don't give a fuck. I tell you the truth, and that's it. Look it up. I've had so many people vet everything I talk on you, and they come back. I was on the podcast. You know the Concrete podcast? Concrete. It's
No,
a pretty
what is
big
that?
podcast. They're out of St. Pete, Tampa. St. Pete.
Okay.
Very big. It's good. I go on their show. Their producer says, you've been on here 3 times, 3 hours at a time, whatever. He goes, I researched everything you ever said. You fucking are. I mean, I never seen, a person come on here because I don't have to remember anything. You don't have
you're
to
not
call
making
me
sure,
and say,
right.
hey, Larry, these are the questions I'm going to ask you.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what you ask me.
Right, you got no syphilis for this.
You have a life. You have a lived life and
Right.
enough stories.
And like I said, I know this, yes. I can't talk about it. Like you said, no comment, whatever
Right,
it is.
of course.
But I'm not gonna. I don't have to prepare for any. And I've been on a zillion. There's an interview coming out. We just did VH1. I did a show, a whole hour on me.
They still have
coming out.
VH1? VH1 still?
Yeah, that's the number 1 show they have. It's my true crime story.
Oh, wow.
And it's on. It's coming out in August, and they did a whole hour on me on the show. And the girl says, "Do you need any prep time?" I said, "Yeah, no."
Yeah,
I'm
that's the cool. That's the cool thing.
I'm gonna shave.
When you commit cool crimes and you have a personality, you could be like, when I got out of jail, I have a career, right? Like it's.
I
like,
never
when you-
thought that,
But
though.
if
Never.
you think about it, right? Like even like when they did Catch Me If You Can with Leo, you're
Yeah.
like, I mean, he didn't really, obviously you've hurt, but you're like you weren't like a mass murderer where people are like,
No,
all
I
right,
wasn't.
Correct.
right? So it's
Exactly.
like. The crimes you committed were against insurance companies at the end, like you said,
Exactly.
right?
But
So
I
it's
did
just-
put a lot of fear in people. I mean, I tied up 100 people. Poor
It's
people.
okay.
Don't
You
feel
untied
guilty.
them. You also
You don't
untied them.
I
You
think
untied them at some point.
I
think
did. Somebody
it's
did.
okay. It was either gonna be you or somebody else. You know what I mean?
Somebody-
Yeah. I do believe people got to get over shit. I mean, we all had. I had to get over being tortured.
Think about
I
the
was tortured
stories
for
you
11
give-
straight months.
That's
Think about the
11 straight
stories you
months.
gave those people who were tied up.
Well, tell the
Yeah.
story about the couple that said you were a nice guy.
Oh man. Well, because we talking about time. I was tortured, and I had to get over that. You have to. Everything that has ever happened to me, I believe in anybody's life, you have to accept it, maybe learn from it, and get over it. Like I was abused as a kid and tortured in prison, and people say, I had a judge say to me, Larry, man, you got a reason to be bitter. I said, no, I don't. I have now a lot of information to help you not make the stupid choice I made. That's how my program works. But anyway, 100-minute story, Sarasota, Florida. I robbed one over Sarasota. Nice area. You guys know Sarasota? One of the
Yeah,
best
I
beaches
don't.
in the
So
world.
wait, who you
Lido
robbing?
Beach. Lido Beach. A jewelry store.
Okay. I thought that you rob places where you can also go on
Vacation.
vacation. Larry's like, well, I'm here.
Yeah.
You got some
Well,
tanning.
kind of.
get some
I ended up
frozen grapes.
vacation after the fact. So there's a jewelry store in Sarasota, Florida, and Sarasota is a beautiful area. I don't know if you've ever been there. They got one of the best beaches in the world. It's called Lido Beach. It's just the Gulf Coast of Florida is unbelievable. Matter of fact, I had a vacation spot on Fort Myers that got wiped out during that hurricane. Fuck, man, I missed that.
All those diamonds in the walls gone.
Yeah, fuck. Fucking floated away, a prick. Some fucking guy's bling all over his face. No, I'm only kidding. What happens, I go into this jewelry store. Now, the jewelry store was set up like my normal, it's a plaza, and it was, as a matter of fact, there was a dive shop, like scuba dive
So,
shop.
question. I'm going to interrupt here and there. Is this jewelry store standalone, or are they inside a mall?
No,
Or you
none
don't
of
know-
them are standalone.
But you never want them in, like, do you look, what kind of jewelry store are you looking for?
Okay.
He's trying to rob a store. So
There's people listening.
No, absolutely.
Times are tough.
Times are tough. If somebody goes, well, I
Economy's
heard how to
bad.
do it from Larry on Kirill's show.
That'd be great.
They're always at a plaza with an anchor store like a Publix or a grocery store, a Winn-Dixie. And the reason that is you could case them very easily because you could be sitting in your car reading the paper like you're waiting for your wife's shopping.
Don't look suspicious.
And there's a jewelry store there. You park near the side and you can see the front and go. Because I had a case that store, knew everything about that store. So all the stores I had were in plazas of some sort. Even if the plaza wasn't an anchor store or a Winn-Dixie, it was a busy plaza. I liked busy plazas, not just like a deserted, because then you stand out.
Right.
So anyway, so they're always in a plaza. I got it down through science so much. I knew when the sun rises in the east, falls in the west, and the way they were facing. So if they're facing east, about 10 in the morning, the sun hits the glass. Nobody can see in.
Inside the store as you're committing your crime.
Right, nobody can see in. I mean,
do you have to know what day of the week they have the most inventory?
Oh, absolutely.
Like when they got a delivery, are you like, oh, I'll rob them
not
before
just
Valentine's
delivery.
Day?
You got to know even if they are a wholesaler.
Wow.
If they are the guy that's a wholesaler, because a lot of Jews, the ones
who opens the safe? The employees usually.
Man, I got one story. This guy used to open the safe, and every day he used to empty the trash out the back door at about 9:30. They opened at 10. And he'd open the safe, and then he'd empty trash, and then put it out, and finish to open the safe. So he'd open it first. So I knew this. So one day, my brother's over in the car. I got this one myself. So I
got this.
This one out. I got
The door is right here. I'm standing right next to the door, just like hanging out in case someone saw me. But it was still behind the place. But it was an area you could see if you had to really look. So I'm just like hanging out, making look like I belong there. And I'm listening, and I hear him open the door. He opens the door. Wham! I fucking knock him back. He goes fucking flying down. Get down! On the fucking floor! Down! Don't open your eyes! I'll kill you, motherfucker! Don't open your fucking eyes! The motherfucker. Fucking.
Oh, shit, my pants.
I thought I was getting robbed.
Click, boom, stuff him up. Because when I did it so hard, the door went open and closed. So it's even perfect. My partner, my brother comes out. Boom, click, open the door, come in. Everything right out of the safes, everything boom, 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 and left the store. Bam! That was a quick one.
How long does that whole process take?
That one was 5 minutes, 4 minutes.
Longest 4 minutes of your life?
No.
Are you guys just... Where are the cameras? Who's worried about you standing outside and connecting?
At that point.
You were masked up every time you ran in there?
Never.
What year is this?
Never.
What year is this?
92.
No cameras yet?
No cameras. But they were always to a VCR or machine. I just take the whole fucking machine.
With you.
It wasn't off-site monitoring.
Wait, where's the nice guy story?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I was like, at what point are you a couple?
Hey, that was the nice guy. No, the nice guy is I go to Sarasota. Oh, another fucking funny one about it. I had 10 people locked up. So we're sitting I'm in the store, right? And now you gotta remember, I'm in a nice outfit, and I got a sports jacket on because you go in, they got the buzzers at the door.
Yeah, you gotta look the part.
Well, no, jewelry stores have buzzers, and people think, oh, that's great. But no, they want me in there. I loved when they had a buzzer, because nobody else could come in unless I buzz you in.
Right. So he's dressed up, looking nice to buy jewelry, right? You look like a customer.
They already know me.
Yeah.
Because I already cased it. They got my name. Oh, so many stories I got with jewelry robberies. So we come in, and I go in the store, and after everyone's down, now the owner and his person get down, I see 2 people at the door. And they hit the buzzer to come in. Oh, fuck. If they look in, they see what's going on. So
you're robbing the place right now.
In the middle of the robbery.
And they're buzzing.
They're buzzing to get in. So, you don't
You should
panic.
have sold them some diamonds.
Well, better.
Give me a half hour. I'll meet you in let me know what you
Listen, I get their credit
Half
card
price.
number. I get their credit card number. No.
Close out sale.
I'll tell you about we used to do that when we were kids with bookmaking. But it's
crazy.
So we go in, and I let them in. And
let them in?
Yeah, of course. I open the door. I said, come on in. They walk in. I close the door, and I open my jacket. And I go, and there's a gun there. I go, this is a robbery. Oh, my God. They were going to go. They were 2 old people. I said, no. Don't get down. Come with me. Don't worry. Nobody's going to get hurt. I would never gag anyone anyway, because I never wanted anybody to throw up and choke to death, ever. So
What do you mean? Like put a ball in
if you
there?
put a gag or anything, and you throw up, and you'll vomit, you'll die.
You'll die, right?
Yeah,
So in your own throw up, right?
Right. So I brought them in, and I said, now sit right here. Didn't put them on the floor. And there's 2 people on the floor tied up. I said, just sit right here and look at the wall. I'm gonna be gone, but you gotta look at that wall. Nothing's gonna happen.
I'd be terrified you're gonna execute me.
No, and 2 old people. They were in their 70s, 80s, whatever.
They're shaking, right?
No, they just sat there, and so we get ready to go.
You didn't tie him up.
You're
Nothing?
like, are you guys
Not tied
talking?
up, nothing.
They're just sitting there staring at a wall.
Yeah, just I said, look there. Yeah, just look that way. Just look that way. And I said, and when I leave, you have to wait 5 minutes, and then you can get up and call the police. Okay. Nothing. Very good. I got my partner. Now I got another guy in the truck. He's since dead, Jimmy. You remember Jimmy?
Jimmy, come on.
We called him Jimmy Trains because
so
we
good.
put him on a train one time with fucking shit. We used to split up for robbery. I put him on a train. It took him 2 days to get fucking. They took the wrong fucking train.
That would be me.
Jimmy's fucking.
See that, you know when you said earlier, like everyone's trying to make a name for themselves, but I feel like that's the point of the mob. Everyone has a name. Everyone's like, yeah, Joey Donuts. You're like, he had to make a name that.
I was Crazy Larry, Florida.
That's crazy.
Okay, so now 5 minutes.
They couldn't even think of a better nickname. They're like, just Crazy Larry. They're like, don't.
So we sit him down. If the people come, I go to Jimmy. Give him the nod from the door. That means bring the car around back. We're gonna bring the jewelry into the car, and then we go. That's the thing. So I give him the nod. He comes in. I go back to the door. I go into the door. I open the door to go out. He's not there. He's not fucking there. I'm sitting there fucking Uncle David, and I sit there with the fucking 2 bags of jewelry. Where the fuck is this motherfucker? I open the door to go back in, and I go to the old people. I'm just checking on you. Don't move. You got to get fighting. See, I'm going to check on you. I'm going to check on you. I went back to the front. Like that to Jimmy. Get the fuck. He saw somebody, so he went back. Fucking idiot. If instead of waiting, I could see he just goes.
He got panicked.
Not panicked,
yeah?
but he knew he wouldn't panic. He was too stupid to panic. So he ends up coming in there, and he ends up we get rid of the thing. Well, the next day in the newspaper, I used to read the newspapers all the time after robbery. The old people go, "Oh, he was a nice guy."
That's so good. I would have slipped like a diamond in their pocket.
Yeah, I never robbed. That's a great story. I go into this jewelry store, and
He has a story for every comment.
It's crazy.
Larry,
I really
everyone
do.
wants to know, though. Where are the diamonds?
What diamonds?
Thank you. That's the only question and answer I need.
What diamonds?
What diamonds?
I didn't rob diamonds.
Can I ask you something you can tell me to fuck off if you think this is too much?
I might.
But look, I know you would. But I just want to know, do you still have people that call you and go, Larry, I need some advice. Like, I need it, please. Just tell me something. Like, what can I do?
That great story there. So everything you say is a story. I get out of prison, and these 2 guys who know me from the old days, younger kids now, they knew of me. Mm-hmm. And they come up to me. I was in New York for something. I forget what it was. I think it was even a TV show. I don't know why. Somehow I met them, and they go, "Hey, Larry, we got a $5 million score for you. We need you. So I look at them now. My mindset, I'm on paper now. You know what paper is, right?
Right, you pay taxes.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
Like when you don't show up, they put you back in prison.
Right.
So I'm on paper, on parole, and they come up to me, and I say to them, "Really? You're $5 million? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the robbery, and I'm gonna kill you both after the story." I swear to God. And I said to him, "Don't you ever come to me again, you motherfuckers. What the fuck? I'm clean. I don't know they're taped."
Oh, if they're like trying to get you.
I don't know.
So you're trying to stay solid.
Solid.
On
I don't
tape,
know.
Yeah.
So I said that, and then I said, "Now don't ever come to me. I wouldn't do nothing like that, you motherfuckers. Get the fuck away from me. I'm clean now." And I made a point to make sure if they were wired, whoever heard it said, "Man, he's not doing it." They pushed him to try to do it, and he wouldn't do it.
But then you see him at the grocery store and be like, "Yo, so you still have that?"
No, I killed him. No, because that is the truest statement in the world. Most people get, especially when you don't know somebody. I had my brother. He fucking ratting it. We had people we knew so deep.
Right, it's too good to be true. Someone just throws something in your lap.
Oh, come on.
Have you seen?
Why do I need them?
Have you? Have you ever been like discussed or been offered a job and turned it down, and then saw it go down, and were like, "Oh fuck, that was great," or "That was good or bad"?
Have I? Hey, can you take a picture? Yeah. So yeah, it's like, I feel like I'm on my podcast now. This stuff with my son in there and over. Did I ever have a job? No, not in that regard.
No. I mean, like, have you ever had like
Right.
someone brought you
a job and it happened by somebody
without
else?
you, and then you were like, "Oh fuck,
No.
those guys got murdered," or
No,
like,
not. I did too many. I did my independent. I was independent, obviously.
Right.
I was, and they call you a cowboy when you do that. But I was an earner, man. I never screwed my boss. I could have. I had people. Thank you. I had actually people say to me, "Why are you giving them that much?" I used to give them 10%. So I'd walk into the bar and I'd give an envelope for $30,000. Bang, and for whatever.
10% seems like a small vig.
Vig, are you kidding me? He's doing nothing.
He didn't do
gets
nothing.
30 grand. Not knowing where. I walk into the place. How's everybody doing? Envelope,
But
30
you give it to them
grand.
before they find out that you did the job.
They knew it when I was back in town. I mean, they knew what happened.
And they're like, oh, so.
No, never said a word. They never once.
What do you mean they did nothing?
Well, didn't do nothing. He didn't cover him.
Nothing,
He was the one
nothing.
planning everything. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like they provided the infrastructure. It's
No,
like, why it's
no,
like-
No, he's just doing it because he wants to just so they out of mind.
I
out of
needed
like,
their protection.
Yeah, correct.
Here's
Yeah,
what I needed.
that's what I said. The
No, here's what I
infrastructure.
needed. I needed because I knew if another family knew what I was doing, and they did.
Oh, I see.
They would take
So
me
they are doing
hostage.
something.
So they are doing
They would
something.
take me
Okay.
hostage.
They provided the
And trust me,
infrastructure.
if you
You're
took
right.
me
You're right,
hostage,
yeah.
Kirill took me
Yeah.
hostage, and put me in that chair, I would give whatever the fuck you want. You know, I love these guys. Oh, I'll never tell. Oh, they could talk. No, they can't. I don't give a fuck who he is.
I see
If
what
I
you're
got
saying.
you in this room, you'll give me what? You'll give your mother up. I
Right,
don't
if
give a
you
fuck.
have an iron in your hands.
Trust me, nobody.
So it's a
that's
political
the biggest
move. It's
fucking
just a
lie and
political
statement.
move.
Oh,
It's
I'm
like
never
only.
gonna-
It's like OnlyFans does nothing. Like OnlyFans takes 20% because they built you a system
Right,
where
you're
you
right.
can
Yeah.
make money.
I guess you're right.
So,
Right, of
so
course.
the mob is a support system for you
Yeah,
to do
right.
activities.
You're
They're,
right.
they're,
Now you got
they're
to
like
remember.
State Farm for
yeah,
criminals.
but you got to remember
They're
something.
like-
They got
it's
that
an
10%,
insurance
but
they're
they
not
also
risking
did
nothing,
other
though, you know?
things.
The mob has other risks.
But you got to remember with mine, I would give them that money, but I also did other things for them.
Right.
Like when something needed done or something, I would come up to New York and straighten something out or something like that.
Right.
So it wasn't like
They always had you
oh,
on retainer, basically.
Right.
They're like, hey, Larry.
it just put it this way: if you were a fuck up and they needed your leg broken, I would break it.
I hope not.
I used to lay guys'
God
arms on
willing,
curbs.
if
You ever
that's
do
what-
this?
what?
I used to lay a guy's arm on a curb and snap it.
You ever do that?
Hey, I've
Just
never,
like this.
I've never
you lay it
broken
on
a
a curb and you go, bah! And you can't see
That's not what
I'm
champagne
scared.
bottles
I don't like killing bees. Like I'm like
Well, you're not killing him. You break his arm.
You're like Ben Affleck from The Town. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much what's going on here, right? Have you ever hit a bank?
no.
No, right?
Nah, it's not worth it. See, at the time, I didn't know, but see, the FBI got on my case, and I didn't know. See, people don't realize this. When you rob a bank, obviously FBI. Because why? Because it's FDA insured.
Yeah, it's
Right?
federal.
Yeah.
Well, why is a jewelry store federal? It's not.
It's because the insurance company is federal,
No,
right?
it's not. It's not federal.
Because it's a self-regulated industry and they just make
No.
up their own prices.
not-
So what's
no.
the issue?
It becomes federal because that jewelry store got its diamonds from some other state, so it becomes interfering with interstate commerce under the RICO Act.
Ooh, okay.
You could rob McDonald's. It's not federal, is it? If the feds want to make it federal, because McDonald's gets its potatoes from Idaho, you are now interfering with interstate commerce, and
See,
it's a federal
the
crime.
government is worse than the mob.
A fucking right they are. Believe me on that. I could tell you stories about the government, but that is so true. They can make a crime federal. Well, they wanted to make mine federal because they wanted to get me under the RICO Act, and they got me under RICO.
All right.
And RICO, under the RICO Act, you have murder, robberies, extortion, interfering with interstate commerce. All of these are under the RICO Act.
Puerto Rico and by yourself is
so
crazy.
far,
Go to read.
so far, these are all negatives of robbery, and I know we started.
What, you
with
say
how to-
negatives
how to-
of robbery?
Yeah, how do we? How do we?
What positive you
how
want?
do we? How do we get away with this? You mentioned we got to go to some guy on Bowery, and then we went on 80 tangents.
Oh, that's
Oh,
normal.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
you,
Yeah,
me,
that's-
everybody.
So where? At what point would my $1 million of stolen jewels? How do I get rid of them? And how much? Yeah.
Okay.
How do I get cash in hand?
Well, how does the feds think you do it? Or like,
How do you do it?
boy, I have a good story for that with the feds. But okay, here's how it really goes.
Hypothetically, Larry.
No, of course. First of all, it's the connections you have, period. If you don't have a fence connection, matter of fact, I don't know, 10 years ago, there was a robbery of a Tiffany's jewelry store up in Manhattan. They got $5 million. They ended up getting caught because they sold a $30,000 ring up in Harlem for crack or some shit because they did not have a fence.
So they're just sitting on shit that you can't. It's like
Well,
it becomes
listen,
like
I wish they
uranium,
would have
right?
came to me and said, "Hey, Lawton, give us $1 million for that." I would have gave them the $1 million right there, 2 seconds. Then I would have sold it for $2 million or $1,009,000. I would have made double my money.
Right. So now you have $900,000 extra in cash profit.
Whatever.
How do
I
you-
would have made it.
How do you put it in a bank?
Depends. No, yes, you do. I used to open companies. I had a vending machine company. I had 50 vending machines. I hire a kid. I said, "Listen to me. Here's a truck. Here's the. I'm gonna give you $1,000 a week." This is back then. I says, here's the job.
1,000 a week is good.
Yeah.
man.
Very money. Okay, you know, I said, I'm going to give you 1,000 a week on the books, the whole works. Here's a van. I bought a 50 route, you know, vending machines. I said, but here's the deal. Every Friday, come see me before you make your deposit. So he'd come in, you know, fill the machines, do everything, and he'd come and he goes, I go, how much you depositing? 1820. No, 6820.
Oh, you just
Top $5,000. Pop, 20 grand. I own a nightclub, then another nightclub. Biggest fucking washers of money. Go to casinos. My God,
Oh, you just gamble it, and
I
then
lost
the money comes back
I
clean,
lost
right?
$250,000 in 2 weeks. Lost. The federal government got me on the taxes. I gambled $3 million, and that's what they got. And you know, you win, you lose. Usually you lose, but you.
But
get
usually
away to
guys
walk.
would put
Well,
the
you're
money in
gambling
and
with
then
someone
just take
else's
it all
money.
Here's what
out.
I got caught for, and I didn't notice. I used to go to Atlantic City and put it in the cage. You'd go and you get what you know, chit they used to call it, and you go, you put the money in the cage. So I'd go in there and I'd put 50 grand, 80 grand in the cage. Boom. Then you go get a marker at the table, and so you keep marking it, and you're taking cash. You give it to your girlfriend, or give it somebody his chips, go cash him, go chips, go cash him.
Right. You're just washing your money that way.
And all of a sudden, you know, you got no more money. There's money not no more in the cage, and this. Little did I know that they report that to the federal government.
Depending on the amount, obviously.
Well, over a certain amount, obviously.
Right.
It's not, I don't know what
Of course.
the numbers, but they did. So everything, you know, washing the money, obviously today, even today, is harder. But there's businesses to do it.
Bitcoin.
NFTs.
I do know, I do know a guy right now who had a lot of money, and he says, Larry, I can't get rid of it. He goes, even when I went and wanted to buy this guy a boat, and I said, here, you know, how much you want for the boat? And he got 50 grand. And the guy goes, I ain't taking 50 grand. The guy wouldn't take the 50 grand. He goes, it's legit. You know, I own these 3 businesses. It's really legit.
If you buy
money.
Rolex right now from a store, they only take up to 9,000. They don't even want to take cash no more.
What do you mean?
No, of course.
You can't buy anything.
When I bought my
buy
Rolex,
cash?
Rolex,
Did you rob it?
I was planning on it. No,
Why did you come see me?
No, Larry, I need some Rolex.
So
A great story of Rolex. Quick one.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
gave the cruiserweight champ of the world, Mark Randazzo. He knows him. Good friend of mine. Very good friend of mine. He'll tell the story. I got to have him on your show with me. He's in South Florida. Cruiserweight champ of the world, Mark Randazzo. As a matter of fact, when I was in prison, Angelo Dundee, you guys, I don't know if you know boxing at all. Angelo Dundee was one of the greatest trainers with Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, and all that. He actually sent me a letter in prison, and I gave him bottles of wine in his new gym and everything. But Mark and I fucking, he's in the gym, and I used to spar with him, right? You know, and I used to tell him, listen, kid, you fucking hurt me, I'm gonna kill you. He knew who I was, so because you know, even though I was a good fighter, he's talking about the cruiserweight champ of the world, I'll fucking kill you. So anyway, I said, listen, if you win the title, I'm gonna get you fucking something nice. He wins. He beats Irish Danny Morgan in the 8th round. Body shot. They call him the Chicago Shaker, Mark Randazzo. He's at a restaurant, fucking tough kid. But he's about 50 now. But anyway, bam, he fucking gets the guy. I come to the fucking goddamn gym. I throw him a Rolex. I had it inscribed to the champ from a friend. I said, and listen, don't fucking take that to a jeweler. You know, the serial numbers.
Yeah, of
So
course.
he knew. Do you know he has that watch to this day?
Really?
And he talks about that story all the time to everybody because he's a great friend of mine. And he remembers me when I was crazy. I had a sawed-off shotgun, and I was fucking hitting golf balls down the fucking middle of fucking Miami. We were in Miami out in, oh, jeez, what the fuck are you?
Oh, I love those times.
And I was hitting golf balls
So
down the
good.
middle of the fucking street.
I love it.
I was crazy.
Right now, everyone's too sensitive for shit like that. You hit a fucking golf ball down the fucking.
Well, a little
street.
sensitive. You hit somebody in the head and kill him. But fuck, so Mark, matter of fact, Mark and I got Mickey Rourke arrested. You know Mickey Rourke, right? Yeah, because we were in his bar and Mark cleaned out a fucking bouncer. Pop, pop, pop. After we were buying this girl champagne, the guy. Now this is Mickey. Now Mickey's a friend of ours.
Right.
So this bouncer comes up and says, "You can't do that. Where's your credit card?" He goes, "Marcus, what are you talking about? We're friends with me. I don't care who you're friends with." Marcus, really? Guy put his hands on Mark. Mark stands up. Wow, you know, I'm talking about in his prime, a cruiserweight champ, is 200 pounder. Whop, 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 whop. The 6'6", boom, heads in fucking blood all. People scream. We fucking get the fuck out. Mickey comes, you know, he sees us. Get out of here, guys, get out of here. That night he was fucking arrested in the fucking front of fucking. It was on the news too. Mickey Rourke was arrested one day, whatever. And we're laughing. Fucking cost Mark 10 grand for that fucking beating that fucking guy.
Yeah, he
You
probably had to give the watch up.
No, he didn't.
He's like, 10
He
grand.
can't do that. He can't do
Right.
that. Mark, you got to keep the watch.
But But going back to the rush, right?
Yeah.
Just real quick. You ever go into a store and you're in Target and you see like a little, and you're like, for all time's sake, whoop, let's.
No, because I was never a fucking. I wasn't a smashing grabber. I wasn't a punk driver. Now,
Stealing
I
highlighters.
You never know. Maybe you can just catch a
Wait a
little.
minute. Wait a minute. I know what I'm taking.
Well, here's the thing, Larry. Right now, because you've been in the system and you have a record, are you as like if you and I both go commit the same crime, who's going to do the worst time?
Oh,
like if you and I go
they
right
put
now,
me under the jail, not in it.
Okay,
under it.
because you're like a repeat
all
offender.
right. Again, I had such a bad record. Man, I didn't know how bad of a record I had.
I'm gonna Google your record.
Yo, do it. Go to Ben Verified because I have that shit for
I never seen that. Yeah.
I fucking got 12 out of kidnapping under this. I got a whole bunch of fucking.
Were you scared of him as a dad?
Who?
I was young, so.
If you look at my record, I just
yeah.
looked at my own record and I go, holy shit, I didn't know I did that.
But when he came back, were you like, damn, Bob? Like,
Well, he grew
Like
up
you
with
were a little-
gangsters.
Well, like,
you grew up around.
Yeah,
got
it's
out, I
not
was
like he was
18,
the only
so-
one, and everyone other dad was just like, all right, let me go to Wall Street.
Yeah, no, none of it.
Right.
They go to their
Yeah, he
family
just grew
school
up
and
around.
nobody's got a father.
I grew up in Dyker
Right.
Heights, so.
Dyker, yeah. I mean,
and
it was
nobody's
like
got a kid. Nobody
of
had
that
fathers
shit.
there. Like a lot
well,
of their
Dyker
friends
Heights
are
is
away.
still kind of. They still got.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Still
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
still
some cafes,
Yeah,
you know,
some
yeah.
cutie pie situations going on over there right now. Still.
His neighborhood was different, like, because a lot of the guys, even someone I knew, or they know me, you know of each other, they're different crews, but, oh, man, Larry, that was, he was a robber. They knew what we did. Not what we did, per se, but they know who you're with and what you're going to, because they can't touch you. You know, they just had a robbery. I did a video on it this week. These guys associated with a couple of families, we talked about.
Yeah.
It really boggles my mind on this one that they let them do that. Because I couldn't rob around here. I was told.
Really, around here?
No, I said, but I couldn't rob
different
around
times,
here.
though.
You know,
It's just different.
I was told, don't you dare, because they're all protected.
Right, but it's not like that no more, right?
I'm assuming not, but I still think it has. Because listen, get me back in the game. Man, sometimes the
Sometimes
old
you
fucking
you feel like Tyson. You're like, I'll
no,
show you.
No, I want to come and get in the game because that's how I get back in the game. I tell all my rich friends. I have a lot of very, very wealthy friends. I said, listen, don't let me get back in the
My
fucking
friends have
game.
all my diamonds.
I says, don't
Rolexes.
ever fucking let me get back in the game because if you see me in a 3-piece suit, I'm taking all your
Like,
fucking
don't
money.
invite
I'm
Larry to
taking.
the next wedding.
I'm taking you. I'm taking you to the fucking bank. I'm taking all your fucking money and
Crazy.
shit you can do about it.
Right.
If I came back here, I'd whack 3 people, get fucking done, and then get back in the game. Really, that's how you have to do it.
But you see, a guy like you, right? You never rat on nobody, so you came out of jail, and those guys must have had so much respect for you. So as soon as you came out of jail, they had to be offering you jobs.
Well, listen, what
something
happened
like-
was I didn't want to even be around. It took a lot for me even to want to be because I know, yes, there's no question I can do anything I want that way. But I know, listen, you guys know who Joey Molino is. Joey Molino. You see him in the papers a lot. He's with the Philly mob now. He's out.
Larry, I haven't read a newspaper
Yeah,
since
literally.
I
I
had to
have
do
no
current
idea what's
events
going
in middle school.
Wow, I forgot it. You're the old one in here besides
Yeah.
me. Besides me, you're the old one in here. I don't even read it. I'm on the news with the thing. But anyway, the feds are always following them. Always still to this day because they want to justify their jobs.
Correct.
It's not even like
They care as much as the government.
they don't give a fuck.
They have an
get
AirTag on you.
government
They got-
money.
Yeah,
man.
that's like
They
construction
never- You
workers, right?
said it earlier, Kirill, and you were 1,000% right. The biggest fucking mob in the world is the government. I mean,
Yeah,
and I don't give a fuck who
biggest.
knows that. The corruption, the shit that goes on.
Yeah, they're just mad that you're cutting in on their
Correct.
action.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
exactly.
Every time
Right.
anyone goes to jail, it's just because the government's like, we didn't think of doing that.
I always tell you,
And they take cuts from some people like the mob did,
Of
but they just
course.
do it a different way.
A different way.
In classy suits and in the
100%
nice restaurants.
with a
you know what I
pen.
mean? Correct.
I laugh about it because people say, I love drug dealers. They think they're, they ain't gonna catch me. Oh, we're using words on our phone. You fucking moron, motherfucker. I said, so, first of all, the only reason you're not caught, and they know who you are, because there's a zillion rats out there, they know everything, is they don't want you. They don't want you yet. Yeah. The minute you are fucking bragging or stupid or something, they're gonna say, he's done. They're gonna take about a week or two, and you will be fucking in prison. Some of it trumped up because here's how they do that.
I mean, they did that to Andrew Tate. They did that to Tate, right? He bragged in Romania about how he's untouchable, and they went, "Don't pull our pants down.
No.
We're just gonna do
once
You know,
UK
I
got
said that on my
involved, yeah,
station. People go, I go, listen, I don't know Andrew Tate, obviously. I said, but let me tell you something. I have not heard where he did something illegal. Have you?
What, Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
I personally like him.
Well, I mean, I don't know what he's done illegal.
I don't know what.
I don't
I'm
know
sure
if
he's
I
done
like
a
him.
lot
I
of
don't know
illegal
if it's a
stuff.
fucking
Chase.
school.
I'm sure he's done a lot of illegal stuff.
I didn't say that, but I'm talking about his schools. I don't know.
But I'm sure he's done. I'm sure he's done things that the government does, right?
yeah.
So it's like
Everybody's does that. You know the average person commits a felony a day, or 2 or 3. Actually.
whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
How?
No,
I mean,
even you.
I mean, it's what a
Listen, you
felony.
make
I mean,
what did I do?
Jaywalking is a crime.
Crime.
Right? I commit.
How about you take pencils out of your boss's office? You steal. You don't realize you're taking
take
paper
pencils out of
clips.
your
I steal pencils for myself all the time.
You know what I'm getting at?
Right,
There's
right.
so many little things you do you don't realize. And I often talk about that we have just way too many laws in this country.
Too much.
And
they
they
don't
should
make
have
sense.
common sense laws. They should not have this stupidest fuck.
Common
You know,
sense
there's a law
passports.
about blowjobs. There's laws. You cannot give or get a blowjob.
What do you mean?
It's
Where?
sodomy in some states.
In New Jersey, you can't buy a car on a Sunday because the church was scared that it would compete with people going to church when cars first came out. In New Jersey, the dealerships
Really?
are closed
That
on
is
Sundays.
crazy.
I didn't know that.
Dealerships in New Jersey are closed on Sundays to this day.
Is that crazy?
Yes, there's parts of New Jersey that stores close.
Where restaurants have to close
like
for Shabbat
IKEA.
also.
IKEA malls are closed on Sundays in certain parts of Jersey because it's old fucking. Like they were scared that people would stop showing up to church because they have new activities to do.
Just
Right.
whack
Chick-fil-A
to me,
also,
man.
right? Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, they're just
Chick-fil-A,
religious.
it's
That's
religious.
their own
Yeah,
business
it's
thing.
religious
That's the
shit.
you know
I
how
see.
good you have to be as a business that you can take one day off. That's how much Chick-fil-A.
Well, no, that's how much they cut the church con. I call it.
Right, right.
You know, you don't talk about fucking good. They're fucking good.
That's
Those
the real
motherfuckers.
mob.
That's
The religious mob.
They're better than the fucking government.
Well, yeah,
no
they're the ones that
taxes.
control
I like the
Yeah,
religious mob more.
We should
than
start
the
a
government,
church
in
of
my
stealing
opinion.
jewels.
Oh no!
The Church of Robert
listen,
of jewelry.
Listen, we could all be pastors.
Done.
You know, I'll be a bishop.
I want to be a rabbi.
I'm the old guy, so I
Yeah,
get to be the
yeah.
bishop.
Yeah.
You're the junior. No, you're the youngest. So
Yes.
you got to be like the old
You're older than me?
Yeah,
34.
yeah.
Oh,
We're
okay.
smuggling the jewels in your butt. That's how we
It's
get
okay.
it.
So, listen, I hit a knife up
It's
my
gay
ass.
pride.
You know that? Did I ever tell that story about? Do you guys know about me hiding a knife up my ass?
No,
No.
but Larry, I was gonna close this episode out with.
You got the producer
Yeah.
here cracking up over here.
Well, because visually you're thinking about it, any way you put it in is gonna hurt.
No.
Well, listen.
No,
I need to
no.
close out this episode since it is Gay Pride, and we.
I
might as
love
well
it.
close with
I'm a
this
big gay supporter.
I was gonna say this
Very
is
big.
a
I really am.
you've been exuding very masculine vibes, so I just need you to at least
Well, I
close it
hope
out
one
with
of the
some
gay guys
shit.
come here and then I'll unmask my mask.
Yeah, I would like to give me. I was gonna ask for a good gay story, but give me the knife story.
Well, man, did you get that nose thing?
February.
It's Gay Pride.
Oh, I don't care. I mean, it's not gay.
No, obviously.
I don't care.
He's
if it
like
is.
that diamond.
You
I
know-
think I saw it. That looks.
That looks
something-
familiar.
That looks sparkling.
Look, can I have that?
Oh, we got to
that
close
for
it out
second?
already. All right, yeah. See how quick I told you
Yeah.
to go quick. We didn't even get into the swatting.
That's so-
You
Larry,
know
we
how
can
many
do more of
zillions
these.
things we
Oh,
got?
I wish.
But
We gotta-
Larry, so give me the close it out with a good gay story.
Oh, well, it's not gay. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, people. You know, I speak
Putting a
all
knife
over
in
the
your ass
country.
is pretty gay.
Obviously, well, I'm gonna do it. I speak
Gotta
all
put
over.
it inside.
I would do it on air one time. I speak all over the country. Obviously, sometimes I'll speak and I'll open my whole entire hundreds of people, old, young. I'll say, can anybody in this room hide a knife up their ass?
And these are what, third graders?
No.
Oh, this is like an
See,
it's
stop
like
with
a-
kids.
It's like
That's
a dare
the one
program.
thing I won't go.
Fine. I just thought it was a dare program. And
No,
it's just
no,
one
I
guy-
do speak at the DARE program too in
I
the
was
whole
like,
state of
don't
North
open with
Carolina.
that.
But I didn't open with that. These old people. And I said, and they all get quiet. Everybody gets fucking quiet. And I tell the story. I says, I had to do that. And I had to do it because it saved my life. And if I did not do that, I wouldn't be standing here right now talking to you. You take a toothbrush holder that you buy where you put a
Oh,
toothbrush
okay, yeah.
in. You stick your steel shank in there and you put masking tape and then you insert it in your anus all the way up past your
What if you
sphincter.
orgasm?
Hold on, you can't
So you wipe the cum
Oh
off
no,
your
that's
belly
good.
button.
You can. You drip a little. Sometimes pre-cum. So now what happens? So what happens is you have to go through 3 metal detectors. Jesus. Because I did that. So you go to the first metal detector. What happens?
Goes off.
It goes off. Now I'm gonna tell the audience something after this. So you go through the first metal detector. It goes off. Get out of line. Strip. You take all your clothes off. Boom. They search it. Can't see anything. I love that coffin squat. Don't work. It's staying there when I want it to stay there. And all of a sudden, they don't know if you have a bullet in you from a past or like my back, metal, whatever. They don't know. And they say, get the hell out of here, because they got so many people, doing the lines. You get to the yard now. We're all friends. I squat down like to tie my shoe, but along the path there's a concrete path. The grass, I have a wooden handle there. See, the guards will take metal detectors and run them through the yard when we're all locked in. So they'll find if there's a steel shank out there, they're gonna find that. But when it runs over wood, it doesn't go off. So you take the fucking thing, you squat, you take it out of you, keep your toothbrush hole, take it out, stick it in the top of the thing. I got a fucking poker. I'm ready for fucking battle, and it saved my life. And I had to do that. I had to do that to save my life, because if I didn't have that knife when another guy had a knife,
he would have been. He would have caught you.
The guards come down off the yard to the towers and they shoot. They will shoot. When they scream down on the yard, you get flat on your fucking belly. You better, because they will fucking. And it's not rubber bullets or bullshit. They will fucking shoot you. And those motherfuckers are itching to shoot a motherfucker.
Right.
So it's funny about this story, because we're gonna end now. First of all, for gay pride, they know it doesn't hurt, and it doesn't. I mean, obviously, you can work your ass where it doesn't hurt.
You work your ass till it doesn't hurt.
Oh my God! Who doesn't put their finger in there?
The name of this
butt plug.
episode,
You use a butt plug when you come. It's the best cum in the world when you use a butt plug. But anyway,
I don't know. I'm gonna try, I guess.
Absolutely.
Try with a knife tonight.
Not a knife.
Put the handle in and try to cut a cucumber.
No. Use like a hairbrush. You got hair. So now
a hairbrush sounds horrible, Larry.
So the story I just told, I did a version of that. If anybody is out there, I want you to Google Brooke Baldwin from CNN suitcasing. That's what I just told everybody how to do. Suitcase something. That's the name of it. It's called suitcasing. If you Google Brooke Baldwin suitcasing, I told Brooke Baldwin how to hide a knife up your ass on national TV, and it goes viral.
How is it easy to get a saw through a maximum security prison?
It depends on the size, of course, but if it's a saw blade, say this long, and you're going to get it through, there's something called, and I'm going to show your audience, it's called suitcasing something. It's actually hiding something in your rectum.
Jimmy Fallon played that clip on The Tonight Show and said, this reporter asked the wrong guy the wrong question.
Or the right guy, the right question.
And that was funny. And the comments, I felt bad. I know Brooke, and I felt bad for her, because the comments were, because she, like, when I started saying it, it was during the time when the two guys escaped from Attica. I was on 3 networks every day for 3 weeks. She goes, she
went home and put a knife in her ass.
No, and I knew how to get, I know how to speak TV, so to speak. I can speak TV. We can get it past the censors. But that's just funny. So, man, I can tell you, I can sit here for,
She probably got attracted to you after that.
Who?
She probably got attracted to you after that.
No, she's a good person. Brooke's a good person, right? Really?
No, I'm.
Only bad people are attracted to you. Good people. I think we gotta call this episode. I shoved a knife up my ass to save my life.
That's your call, man. I wish I had. The producer had to. If you put the regular buttons, I would have fucking had
a moaning sound effect would have been great. Like,
because I have. You don't know.
You have it. He's watching it.
Yeah.
He's watching.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, we'll use it to promote this episode. Larry, do you want to plug anything? What do you got to plug?
A couple things I'd like to do. When is this coming out? So I don't know.
I don't know. A week.
Okay, I have my cookbook coming out. I have a prison cookbook. It's coming out in about 70 days. It's going on pre-order this week.
I need that.
Yeah, we got to
It's
pre-order.
so
We're
good.
doing 5,000 books. That's it. It's going to be numbered and signed by me, hand signed and numbered, every book. And we're doing a $5,000 limited edition, like when I did Gangster Redemption with the bestseller. This is a cookbook. It's going to have my recipes that are cool and how to do them with stingers and everything, but stories of how I where I got the recipes, the people in the cell, somebody who's dead. So there's gonna be a lot of good stories along with every recipe. So
Larry, you're basically gonna be just like when they do the. You ever Google recipes online?
No.
Oh. I Google recipes online, and then it's like 90% of my children really love this thing. I'm like, just get me to the recipe. But these stories I would want to hear.
Yeah,
because most recipes online is 4,000 pages of drivel, and then you're like, bitch, how do I make this pasta?
Shit. This is like ramen.
I'm gonna do a TikTok series of me doing the recipes in that book.
Oh, you'd have.
Yeah, step
you
one,
know what? I got guys that mimic me. I said to my son in a meeting, I go, why does this TikTok have 150,000 subscribers, followers? and all he is Larry Lawton's biggest fan. That's all his name is.
I
And
love that.
I think it's okay. I never stop anybody. Hey, have fun. Do whatever the fuck you want to do.
All right, so you got the book.
The book, my obviously Gangster
Podcast.
Redemption podcast, is The Real Deal with Larry Lawton. It's on all major platforms, Spotify, every one. Then I have my videos that come out YouTube. Larry Lawton, still the biggest crime YouTuber. Meaning, like, with
You got a crazy following over there.
Yeah. Crazy.
So, with that said, I want to thank you too, Kirill.
Dude,
we
thank you
we've
for
become
being here.
friends.
Thank you.
And he's always, we text and stuff. He's a good guy, man. I really like it. I love what you're
You're
doing.
a character, and I love that. I
Yeah,
love
you're the
talking to
man.
people who are just raw.
And you have a lot of.
And I'll do
'Cause
anything.
not many people
I'm
wanna-
coming to your party.
Look,
Am I
you're-
invited to your parties?
Larry, you don't need an invitation. I'm
He throws the
terrified.
best
You're the
parties.
best.
If you
Thank
walk,
you.
if
You're
you're,
right,
even
right,
if you're
nice
not
meeting you.
invited and you show up, who's gonna say no?
Yeah, you
He's
have.
good, too. I
Like,
like
that guy
Val.
might have a knife in his ass.
You have amazing. you have,
I'm a squat. Where's the wood?
I'm a big fan of just I love old school stuff, and I appreciate the.
yeah, Val's Russian, so
Yeah,
he's
I-
always. A schemer.
I'm Ukrainian,
We're
so-
schemers.
And you know why, too? You're
Yeah,
Canadian,
sorry.
correct?
What?
You're Canadian?
Russian.
Oh, you're Russian.
we're all schemers.
Oh, somebody went to Canada. No, nobody's scared. Because I'm Canadian. Our heritage is Canadian. And one thing we did find out, last thing, that there was a serial murder in my family and through ancestry. Some like queen, she killed her husband, and then they keyholed her. So that's crazy. I guess that's in my genes. With that said, Kirill, thank you very much, buddy. I really appreciate it. Love you guys. Thanks, Val.
You're the man.
Son, I'm glad you're here. I love
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks.
All
guys.
right.
Love this.
Boom.